World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4661, The Fallen Lord. After the Fallen Heart Lord just finished talking with Shen Shang, he only felt restless, mainly because he is too weak now, and the Heavenly Lord's side is like the sky. If the Heavenly Lord is attacking him now, he doesn't know how to deal with it. He sat in a solemn lobby and looked at the deserted lobby as if he had seen his bleak end. Back then, hundreds of powerful sages followed in this lobby. As soon as he sat in this position, someone would summon his sages to come here for a meeting. And he is sitting here full of majesty, looking at the group of sages below who dare not breathe. What a prestige is that! However, at this moment, he has fewer than 10 sages, and none of them are loyal to him. Even the Heavenly Punishment and Yishan sages who have just recruited, they are most likely sent by the Heavenly Sage Lord. He sat here for a long time, and was in a daze. He was waiting for Chen Shang, and at the same time he felt that he was waiting for death. He originally wanted to resist and flee, but found that his whole life could not be controlled by him. Even if you want to die, you can't die. If you continue to develop, then sooner or later he will become the cultivation resource of the Heavenly Sage Lord. He also knew that he could not sit still, but he had no way to resist. The Heavenly Sage Lord was so powerful, and there was a mysterious and powerful backing. What would he use to fight the Heavenly Sage Lord? Although he met Chen Shang, he felt it was too late, and Chen Shang couldn't help him at all. Besides, he and Chen Shang are not relatives, why should Chen Shang help him? But after thinking about it, the Fallen Heart Saint Lord thought that Chen Zhang's only hope, although hope was very slim, was far stronger than facing despair on his own. He also knew that Chen Shang would not help him for no reason, and he also had the things Chen Shang wanted in his hands, such as blood crystals, such as a large amount of red creativity which Chen Shang needed. The Fallen Heart Lord decided to lower his posture and figured out a way to get Chen Shang to help him, and he felt much better. Because he was desperate before, Chen Shang let him see hope. The Fallen Heart Sage looked at this empty lobby, and waited patiently for the return of Sage Yishan and the others. He had arranged for a subordinate to take the Sage Yishan and the others to leave Wanzhou Mountain and go to the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain to dig blood crystals. That was what he used to trade with Shen Shang. The Fallen Heart Sage waited for 2 days. The sages of Yishan and Sage of Heaven's Punishment finally came back, kneeling in the lobby and shivering. The Fallen Heart Lord looked at these 2 ragged sages, his face gradually turned pale. Where is the Skyfire Sage? I will send them to take you out, how come only you 2 come back? The Fallen Heart Sage said coldly. Senior Tianwo, he was killed. Sage Yishan said with a sad expression on his face. We went to the vicinity of the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and we were suddenly attacked. Senior Skyfire sacrificed in order to protect us from retreating. The Heavenly Punishment Sage closed his eyes, looking very sad and angry. Who attacked you? The Fallen Heart Sage stood up suddenly, flashed to the side of Sage Yishan, and roared in a deep voice. We don't know. The Heavenly Punishment Sage was also terrified and knelt on the ground trembling. We fled to the outside of Wanzhou Mountain. It was, the Holy Master Tianxian brought us in. The Holy Sage Yishan continued. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord heard that the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord had come in, and his heart surged with anger. If it were before, he might really believe this. But he doesn't believe a word now. In his opinion, his sages of Heavenly Fire were killed by sages of Yishan and Heavenly Punishment. And the one who ordered must be the Heavenly Sage Lord. Tianwo has followed me for so many years, so he just left. The Fallen Heart Saint's voice trembled with anger. He believed that with the strength of the Heavenly Punishment Sages and the Yishan Sages, the Heavenly Fire Sages could not be defeated, and it was most likely that the Heavenly Sage Sages had made the move. Holy Lord, please calm down and mourn, said the Sage Yishan. Holy Lord, please rest assured, we will definitely find a way to track down and find the murderer to avenge, said the Heavenly Punishment Sage. The Fallen Heart Sage also gradually calmed down, and then returned to his seat, looking at the empty lobby, watching the Heavenly Punishment Sages and Yishan Sages. He wished to kill the 2 goods immediately. But he can't. If he kills his sages, he will definitely be severely punished by Wanzhou Mountain. Then the woman, the Heavenly Sage Lord, will seize the opportunity to take him. Have you brought things back? The Fallen Heart Saint said coldly. Brought it back. The Heavenly Punishment Sage took out a storage box. Sage Yishan also took one. There is a lot of storage space inside, filled with a lot of blood crystals. Heavenly Punishment Sages and Yishan Sages dare not return empty-handed. After all, a Skyfire Sage has died. If they return empty-handed, they will most likely be bombarded and smashed by the fallen heart sage. Leave the box, you go. Take a good rest and heal your injuries. The fallen heart sighed and waved his hand. Heavenly punishment sages and Yishan sages looked at each other, as if they were relieved, and then retire quickly. The fallen heart lord used his divine sense to control the two boxes to fly over, and carefully looked at the blood crystals inside. There were a lot of words piled up, equivalent to 2 big mountains. Of course, the sacred mountain of blood crystals is very huge, and digging out so much is just equivalent to dropping a little dander. The fallen heart lord took these 2 boxes and came to the door of Chen Zhang's golden crystal secret chamber, and whispered, "Chen Shang, Sage Yishan and they are back. This time I dig up the blood crystals, I have lost my only power." "Man. What's the matter?" Chen Shang asked. The fallen heart lord gritted his teeth and told Chen Shang the matter. Then he scolded. "The 2 bastards, they actually said that they would work hard to track down the murderer and avenge the sages of the sky fire. They are just farting." "Not necessarily," Chen Shang said. "They may really find a murderer. In exchange for your trust." The fallen heart saint lord was silent, which he had never thought of before. "Why does the heavenly fire sage stay with you all the time?" Chen Shang asked again. "Naturally, because he is loyal to me." The fallen heart saint replied very positively. "Not necessarily, maybe he was bought by the heavenly sage lord. This time, maybe they just cooperated in acting." Chen Shang said. "The heavenly fire sage may be alive, but he has joined the heavenly sage lord." "Impossible. The fallen heart lord cannot accept this kind of thing. He trusts the heavenly fire sages very much. If the heavenly fire sages betray him, then his life is really a failure. If the sages of Yishan and the others can find the murderer, it means that this is all arranged. They have to design a trap for you." Chen Shang said. "During this period, you must be patient and don't mess around." World Defying Dan God Chapter 4662, Chuang Yuan Shendan. After Heart Sage Lord and Shen Shang finished talking, he returned to the luxurious lobby in a dingy manner. After all, this was the most prestigious place of his year. Only here can he find some comfort. He would rather believe that the heavenly fire sage is dead, and can't accept that the heavenly fire sage is a traitor. Falling Heart Saint Lord even began to suspect that Chen Shang was most likely sent by the heavenly sage Saint Lord to make his mentality. Because if it weren't for Chen Zhang's words, he wouldn't have become so cranky. But he soon understood that the reason why he was thinking about it was mainly because he was a little skeptical in his heart, and Chen Shang, an outsider, now let him start thinking. The fallen heart lord is sitting in the luxurious lobby, and the whole person looks very decadent. All he can do now is to wait patiently for Chen Shang. If it hadn't been for Chen Shang to tell him to be patient, he might go directly to the sages of Yishan and the sages of heaven's punishment and ask them to understand. Once he gets serious, he must be tortured. Chen Shang is refining alchemy. He also knows that the mood of the fallen heart lord is not right now, but he has not said much to the fallen heart lord. He is testing the mentality of the fallen heart lord. If the fallen heart lord is impulsive and reckless, and can't hold his breath, then he is not a person who can achieve great things, and the next cooperation cannot continue. "Brother, what will be the effect of using the purified creation power to make a pill? How can I create a new practice principle?" Little Jing said. "I am also in a bottleneck now. I can't break through. I don't know, maybe this time is different. I need my cultivation level to reach a certain level, and a deeper understanding of the new level, in order to develop new principles of practice." Chen Shang looked at the pill that was gradually condensing in the Aoshi Shen furnace, and he also knew that the pill refining this time had not achieved the result he wanted. "Yes, this kind of thing can't come in a hurry." Sister Xiaojing sighed lightly. "At the time when the 6 paths of cultivation principles came out, I was also successful in refining the 6 paths of fate soul because of a mistake." Chen Shang said. "I originally thought that I had gathered a large amount of creative power together, and maybe I could cultivate a similar life soul things, but in the end it was just a pill. Brother, I made the 6 life souls at the beginning because of soul propositions." Sister Xiaojing said, "You may also have to start with soul propositions this time. The creation power has soul gift, but I can't perceive it." Chen Shang said. "The sages of Yishan and the others gained a special ability by fusing the red creation power before. That should be the soul gift. Brother, after you purify the power of creation, you have to remove a lot of impurities and various consciousnesses so you can perceive the existence of soul prowess. Unless you are like Yishan sages and others, you can perceive the red power of creation. To the soul gift, Little Mirror said, but you can't do that, it's too dangerous. Indeed, I won't be reckless. Chen Shang said, I want to get in touch with the most primitive power of creation. The power of creation that I have come into contact with is all cultivated through Wanzhou Mountain, and I don't know what happened. Change. Yes, Wanzhou Mountain transformed the power of creation, and then was purified in your hands. It is not what it was like before. Little Mirror said. Chen Shang opened the Aoshi Shenlu and looked at the white pill. After he held it in his hand, he only felt light and light, without any weight at all. The most amazing thing is that after he gently tossed the pill up, it floated up like this, not only without weight, but also floating up by himself. It's amazing. After seeing Sister Xiaojing, she exclaimed, Brother, can you eat this pill made by the power of creation? Will it be dangerous after you eat it? It should be edible. Chen Shang smiled and said, I know the pill I refined by myself, but I think it will take a long time for this pill to be fully refined. There are 6 magic mirrors in the time domain, you don't have to worry about consuming time. Little Mirror's sister smiled. Chen Shang sat on the 6-way magic mirror, and then ate this pill. It's called Chuang Yuan Shen Dan. After Chen Shang ate it, he felt the pill. This pill requires him to use the 6 elements in his body to refine it a little bit, and this pill is very strong. After eating it, it will not melt immediately, it needs external force to break it. In his dantian, the powerful 6 Dao Yuan forces are spinning like a vortex, and the Chuang Yuan Shen pill is madly milled in the middle, and very fine crystal dust is produced by the impact of the 6 Dao Yuan powers. After Chen Shang absorbed a little bit of crystal powder, he immediately felt an extremely powerful force that impacted his limbs. That kind of crystal powder was ground from the Chuang Yuan Shendan, he just absorbed a little bit, and it had this effect. He continued to absorb, but soon discovered that he could not withstand the stronger Dan power. The power effect of Chuang Yuan Shen Dan is very terrible, it can obviously strengthen his body, and now he feels that the skin, muscles and bones are torn apart, being crushed and reshaped by Chuang Shi Li. I don't know how long it will take to completely refine that pill. Chen Shang estimated that it would take at least 10 years. Fortunately, he is in the time domain of the 6 magic mirrors. He has been refining here for 10 years, and the outside is only the past 10 days. The fallen heart lord will not wait for him too long. And 10 days, it is enough to investigate the fallen heart sage, and at the same time to see how the sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment will act in the future. In a blink of an eye, 12 days have passed. Falling Heart Saint Lord has been going crazy during these 12 days, because he has been worried that Heavenly Sage Saint Lord will take action against him. In his opinion, he is waiting for death. However, the Fallen Heart Lord did nothing, and he did not go to find the sages of Yishan and the sages of Heaven's punishment. According to what Chen Shang said, he has been patient in his lair, waiting for Chen Shang to come out. In the time domain of the 6 magic mirrors, Chen Shang finally refined that pill. This pill has greatly improved him. After he just started to eat it, he thought that this pill was just for training his physical body, but he did not expect to help him open the 3rd soul sea smoothly in the end. This time his triple soul sea is completely his own, and it doesn't disappear after cultivating as before. And this pill brought him the most obvious improvement, his physical body was much stronger than before. This improvement was an unexpected surprise for him. This reminded him of the previous bulging people, who seemed to have reached the body strength of the bulging people. Unfortunately, this kind of pill can only be eaten. If you eat the 2nd pill, there will be no such effect. When Chen Shang cultivated to the end, he absorbed the powder of the Chuang Yuan Shen pill without any improvement. His body and soul, absorbing this kind of creation pill, are already saturated. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4663, Holy Lord Ending. Chen Shang took a good bath and chatted with Fang Qing during the bath. During this time, Kalian did not contact Chen Shang through Fang Qing. Kalian once said to Fang Qing that she would not contact her again for a while, because she was afraid of being discovered by the Heavenly Sage Lord. Fang Qing finally lived a more comfortable life with her little sisters in the 6 Paths of God mirror, unlike when she was in Lost Souls village before, she was afraid all day. Chen Shang could feel that Fang Qing had feelings for him. She had hinted at Chen Shang many times and hoped to have a face-to-face chat with him. Chen Shang also wanted to see Fang Qing to see how her current cultivation situation is. After all, she still restrained him with the loss of soul illusion. Especially now, Chen Shang has improved a lot, and wants to try whether he can resist Fang Qing's illusion of loss of soul. But because it was not particularly safe in this place, Chen Shang temporarily refused to let Fang Qing come out, so as not to sprawl. Qinger, do you know who the girl who often contacts you in Lost Soul's realm is? Chen Shang asked. Her name is Kalian, Fang Qing said. She said that she met my previous life, and also said that the souls of our sisters had practiced a technique with her in the previous life, so the souls can resonate. When Chen Shang asked, he also wanted to know how Kalian explained this situation to Fang Qing. Kalian said before that she would not recall Fang Qing and the others. Actually, your relationship with her is very close. Chen Shang said. She can be regarded as your sister, the kind that is very close. In short, if she knows that you are in danger, she will definitely save you at all costs. Chen Shang thought for a while and decided to lead in this direction. Kalian's Liandi personality is sometimes relatively slow to emotions, or it is because she has a very vague cognition of emotions. Lianer personality is currently unable to completely affect the emotions of Emperor Lian's personality, and the personality of Tianmu is also very indifferent to emotions. So Chen Shang intends to help Kalian start. Really, it turned out to be such a relationship. Fang Qing was a little pleased and smiled. Big brother Shen, am I a relative of her? I didn't expect that I could meet relatives in my previous life. Lianer doesn't know how to express her emotions, but she must be very good to you. Chen Shang laughed. Qinger, I will let you meet as soon as possible. You will have a good chat and exchange feelings when the time comes. Fang Qing is not bored in the Sixth Tao Divine Mirror, and Chen Shang also found something for them to do. Under the guidance of Sister Xiaojing, let them use a large number of holy soul pill puppets to refine the blood crystals through the pill furnace, and refine the blood crystals into gold crystal powder. Of course, this process also requires the participation of Chen Shang. He has to release a kind of flame to refine the blood crystals into gold crystals. At the same time, he has to cooperate with the 6 magic mirrors. The process is still very complicated. It's rare for Chen Shang to relax now. He thought of Zillion and Shinru, and he didn't know how they were in the magical medicine treasure city. There is also Shen Yuanxin. This is the universe Yuanxin of Aoshi universe. She hides herself alone, and she doesn't know what kind of threat she is facing. And the Saint Profound Star guarded by Shen Yuanxin, now I don't know what happened. The divine realm that was previously isolated by space, is that space barrier still? Chen Shang just wanted to leave Tianmu Shengwang quickly. He has now roughly figured out the situation of the Heavenly Mother Sacred Wilderness. This place should be regarded as a stronghold connecting Wanzhou Mountain. And Wanzhou Mountain would devour the Aoshi universe through the Heavenly Mother Sacred Wilderness, and Chen Shang would never allow this to happen. Chen Shang walked out of the Jinjing training room and went to the small hall outside. He didn't see the Fallen Heart Saint Lord here. Then he went to the outside lobby again. He was now standing in front of the magnificent golden gate of the lobby, looking at the Fallen Heart Lord sitting high in the luxurious chair. The Fallen Heart Lord now looks like mud slumped on that big chair, without any momentum at all. Chen Shang, you are finally out. After seeing Chen Shang, the Saint Lord of Fallen Heart cried out weakly. He didn't seem to have any hope for Chen Shang. Holy Lord of Fallen Heart, what have you experienced? Chen Shang asked. My name is Xie Wuxin, and I am no longer a Fallen Heart Sage Lord. Xie Wuxin sighed, my name has been deprived of Fallen Heart Sage Lord. Why did they deprive the title of the Fallen Heart Saint Lord? Chen Shang was not surprised. This was obviously an attack by the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord. Because, Skyfire sages told the masters of Wanzhou Mountain that I have been murdering sages for many years, and that this is why there are fewer and fewer sages under my hand. Xie Wuxin said, Chen Shang, you are right. Now, the Heavenly Fire Sage is not dead, and he bit me back. What about the sages of Yishan and the Sage of Punishment? Chen Shang asked calmly. They betrayed me too, saying that I forced them to work hard. Xie Wuxin said, I don't have any sages under my hand now. The Heavenly Sages have won. She is really amazing. She doesn't have to do it herself, relying on a group of dogs. Just bite me to ruin. Xie Wuxin stood up and laughed at himself. However, the Heavenly Sage Lord didn't completely annihilate you, aren't you still standing here? Chen Shang said. Tomorrow is the discussion between the Holy Masters. After I lose tomorrow, I will be thrown into a furnace. I will be refined into a pill in the furnace, and then let the Heavenly Sage Holy Master eat it. Xie Wuxin smiled miserably. I am completely defeated. I am defeated so badly. How is the exchange between the holy masters? Chen Shang stood under the gate. He looked so small, but his aura at the moment made Xie Wuxin feel something wrong. She will lead the powerful sages under her sect to come tomorrow. As usual, my sages will fight her sages. If I don't have a sage, I can only fight by myself. Xie Wuxin said. Can you beat the sages under her? Chen Shang asked. If only the sages of Yishan and the sage of the punishment are flat, I can slap one to death, but there are many powerful sages under the sage of Tianxian, and they join forces to besiege me, then I will definitely be defeated. Xie Wuxin said. When I arrive, I will be besieged and seriously injured by the sages, and then thrown into the furnace to make a pill. My end is doomed. Chen Shang also made up this picture. It was really miserable. Am I one of your people? Can I play with you? Chen Shang asked with a faint smile. You are counted as one of my sect, but it makes no sense for you to play. Even if you have the same strength as me, you can't beat all the sages under the sage of Heavenly Sage. Xie Wuxin said. I take your kindness, you let's go. The sages of Heaven's punishment and the sage of Yishan have enemies with me. If they don't die, I won't leave. Chen Zhang's eyes were firm. The current Chen Shang is not afraid of the sages of Yishan and the saint of punishment. Although he doesn't know how strong he is, what is certain is that he will be able to defeat the sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4664, Sudden Transmission. Xie Wuxin only felt helpless now. When he was still the saint of the fallen heart, although his opponents were usually indifferent, he had never given him a lot. And now, those subordinates have betrayed him, and the one who hasn't run yet is an outsider, Chen Shang. He also knows that Chen Shang is different, but in his opinion, as long as he is a normal person, he should be very afraid of the Heavenly Sage Holy Lord. Even Xie Wuxin herself is now very afraid of the Heavenly Sage Lord, and even wants to beg for mercy. He also knew very well that the Heavenly Sage Lord would not let him go. The main purpose of the Heavenly Sage Lord was to swallow him and become stronger. I'm not going, Chen Shang said. I said, the sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment are my enemies, they must die. In addition to these two sages, there are also the Red Devil Lei Zun, the Sword God Guard, and the Wind God Guard. They all know that Chen Shang possesses the fate of the universe. Chen Shang wanted to kill them before they told the Heavenly Sage Lord. If the Heavenly Sage Lord knew that he had the cosmic fate, it would be difficult for him to get along in Wanzhou Mountain. Are you going to kill them? Xie Wuxin asked. You have such a deep hatred with them. You have to think clearly. If you join the war with me, even if you kill them, you will not escape in the end. I figured it out clearly. Chen Shang said. Are you sure they will play tomorrow? Definitely. The sage of Tianxian made them show loyalty, and he must let them play, and even insult me. Xie Wuxin smiled bitterly. Tomorrow, as soon as I play on the court, a large group of powerful sages will besiege me. Take me down, and finally let the sages of heavenly fire, these vagrants, insult me as much as you can. Chen Shang suddenly understood why Xie Wuxin was so desperate and must suffer humiliation before he died. Do you have hatred with Tianxian Saint Lord? Why does she harm you like this? Chen Shang asked. No enmity, because there is a legend in Wanzhou Mountain. If you have a deep resentment before you die, you will have a higher quality after being refined into a pill. Xie Wuxin said. So Heavenly Sage Lord, you must do everything. It is possible for me to be refined into a pill with a deep hatred. The creative sages and the sages of Heavenly Mother who have just been collected by the Heavenly Sage Lord, will they participate? Chen Shang asked again. He was more worried about this. No, this kind of new beginner sage is precious to her and won't let them participate. Xie Wuxin said. A dog like Yishan sage that betrays me is like a tool in her eyes, so tomorrow I will kill them as much as possible. Xie Wuxin didn't realize that Chen Shang had become much stronger. After all, where could he become stronger in such a short period of time? He didn't know that Chen Shang had been cultivating in the time domain for more than 10 years, so in his opinion, Chen Zhang's strength was no different from before. Chen Shang, you should go back to the Jinjing training room to rest first. Xie Wuxin said. I hope you can hurry up and increase your skills overnight. Chen Shang didn't say much, and went straight back to the Jinjing training room. After all, it was still very comfortable there. After he came to the Jinjing training room, he immediately released the 6 magic mirrors and entered the realm of time. After practicing for a few months in the realm of time, it was only one night outside. Tomorrow is going to fight a battle, and Chen Shang also has to practice his various techniques and sacrifice the magic weapon in his hand. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang spent a few months in the realm of time. When he came out, he found something was wrong. The door of the Jinjing training room seemed to be sealed. He immediately walked over to open it, and couldn't open it after entering. Chen Shang, this Jinjing training room is my most precious thing. I have transferred it to the teleportation hall, and I will teleport you out with the training room. You must survive and help me kill the Sage Lord. Xie Wuxin's voice came from outside. Chen Shang was startled. This Xie Wuxin unexpectedly gave him such a hand, which really caught him off guard. Holy Lord Tianxian will come soon. This is your last chance to leave. I can't escape, but there is no problem in sending you away. Xie Wuxin said again. Anyway, I can only trust you now and go all the way. Don't worry, I will kill the heavenly punishment and Yishan for you. These two **** betrayed me. Needless to say, I have to kill them. After he finished speaking, Chen Shang sensed a wave of spatial fluctuations and really wanted to send him and Jin Jing's training room away. The space teleportation array opened, and the square Jinjing training room suddenly disappeared. Xie Wuxin left the teleportation room without looking back, and then quickly returned to his grandly decorated and splendid lobby. When Chen Shang was in the Jinjing training room, when he felt that the spatial fluctuation was very strong, he immediately let the little mirror sister pass through the 6 magic mirrors to release the power of the spatial primordial beads, so that the 6 magic mirrors burst into a strong spatial domain. In this way, the Jinjing training room was not teleported away, but stayed in the middle of the space channel by the 6 divine mirrors. Girl Jing, can you go back? Chen Shang said, that idiot is really, and he even gave me such a trick. He had known him to show his hands and let him know my strength. Brother, I can go back, but it takes a little time. Little Mirror said, you wait patiently, I will try to fly back as fast as I can. In this way, the 6 sacred mirrors were in the space passage, and the turtle quickly returned to the space transmission hall. Xie Wuxin returned to the square-like lobby and sat on the top chair. Although he was a man and looked enchanting and feminine, he looked serious at the moment and looked very imposing. Thousands of people stood under the giant door in the lobby. Holy Lord Tianxian brought a group of sages to come. Xie Wuxin quickly locked the sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment from the crowd, as well as the sages of Tianwo who have followed him for many years. Looking at these traitors, Xie Wuxin's eyes were suddenly full of murderous intent, and he wanted to pinch these people to death. Tianxian Saint Lord is wearing a luxurious purple dress, dignified and elegant, with noble temperament. Looking at her gorgeous dress, it doesn't look like she is going to fight. Xie Wuxin, are you the only one? Holy Master Tianxian asked coldly. I'm the only one, Xie Wuxin said in a calm tone. Sage Lord, let's make a break today. You are not worthy, said the Holy Master Tianxian. You are not even the Holy Master now, you are not worthy to fight with me. This is exactly the same as Xie Wuxin guessed. The Holy Master Tianxian will not take action, but will let her men take action. Leave your horse here, Xie Wuxin snorted coldly. You are only sending them to death if you let them come over. Where is the guy named Chen Shang? Saint Lord Tianxian asked suddenly. Oh, you know him. You remember the name of such a small character, it's rare. Xie Wuxin said. He is not a small character, he has the fate of the universe. Tianxian Holy Master said. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4665, arrived in time. Xie Wuxin was stunned when he heard the words of the Heavenly Sage Lord. Chen Shang had previously learned from him about the fate of the universe. What he never expected was that Chen Shang turned out to be a person with the fate of the universe. Moreover, Chen Shang is still a fish that slipped through the net, because logically speaking, people with cosmic fate will be monitored by Wanzhou Mountain. Under normal circumstances, Chen Shang should have been spotted a long time ago. And now, Chen Shang himself had mixed into Wanzhou Mountain, and the Heavenly Sage Lord said it, indicating that Wanzhou Mountain didn't know that Chen Shang had a cosmic fate. You sure? Xie Wuxin still couldn't believe it. He carefully recalled that Chen Shang was indeed very special, even very powerful, with great potential. If this is the case, he is fortunate that he was very decisive in sending Chen Shang away before. If Chen Shang fell into the hands of the Heavenly Lord would have made a lot of money that day. It's true, the sage Yishan said, we can guarantee our lives. Xie Wuxin suddenly understood why Chen Shang wanted to kill the sage Yishan and the others, most likely it was for the purpose of sealing up. But it was still a step too late. The sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment, they had already told the sage of Tianxian about this matter. Hand over Chen Shang, Tianxian Saint Lord said coldly. He should still be in Wanzhou Mountain. Ha ha ha, you are a step late, I sent him away. Xie Wuxin laughed and said, Chen Shang has a cosmic fate, I believe he will be able to escape your pursuit. Sage Lord Tianxian's face gradually became cold, looking very fierce. Even Xie Wuxin was frightened by this woman's expression and took a few steps back. He also knew very well why the heavenly sage lord was so angry. After all, Chen Shang, a person with the cosmic fate, was very important to the heavenly sage lord. If the heavenly sage lord catches Chen Shang and gives it to the masters of Wanzhou Mountain, she will definitely receive a great reward, plus she has a certain amount of backing, then her status will be able to take off in place. Sage Lord Tianxian, if you have a seed, kill me immediately. Xie Wuxin shouted, he is now fearless. You are not worthy of me. Tianxian Saint Lord said coldly. As soon as her voice fell, 10 tall and mighty brawny stood up. They were wearing a set of white crystal armor, emitting crystal white light, holding a white crystal sword, and walking slowly towards Xie Wuxin. Xie Wuxin knew very well that these 10 brawny men were very powerful sages under the sage master Tianxian. When they slowly walked over, they stepped on the ground, causing the entire lobby to tremble. They exuded a compelling aura, and when they stepped forward, Xie Wuxin felt like 10 huge mountains were moving forward, as if they could crush everything. Xie Wuxin, you know how weak you are now. The Lord Tianxian said coldly. You have been the Lord for so many years, and in today's contest, you can't fight against the sages under my sect. It shows you all these years have been wasting the resources of Wanzhou Mountain, so there is no need for you to exist at all. Honestly become a resource. Xie Wuxin was trembling, anger, fear, resentment, and various emotions surged up, making him wonder how to deal with the 10 powerful sages for a while. The heavenly fire sage is a middle-aged man. He sneered at this moment. Xie Wuxin, I have followed you for so many years, but I have not gained much improvement. I have not been following the heavenly sage for long, and the gains are far beyond what you gave me. Xie Wuxin looked at the heavenly fire sages angrily, and then looked at Yishan sages and heavenly punishment sages. He had planned to kill these guys anyway, but now facing those 10 powerful sages, he didn't have anything at all. Any chance to shoot. Xie Wuxin also knows that there are many powerful sages under the sage master Tianxian, and he has never thought that they are so powerful. Now there are only 10 sages, and he can barely breathe. Haha, do you want to kill me? Skyfire sage laughed and said, come on, you trash lord. Don't say kill me, you can't even touch a single piece of my hair. You are such an idiot. Chen Shang is obviously a person with the fate of the universe, but you let him go. The sage Yishan was also mocking and sneered. Of course, we have known about this a long time ago, but we are partial. I won't tell you, ha ha ha. Looking at his appearance, I can't wait to kill us, but I can't do anything. It's too useless, too wasteful. How did this kind of guy become the Holy Lord? The heavenly punishment sage laughed. Xie Wuxin is really going to explode. If he wants to kill him, he must first defeat the 10 powerful sages in front of him. As a challenger, I can't take action. Xie Wuxin, you are a challenger. You can use all means to attack the sages under my sect. The heavenly sage lord said. As long as you can stop it today, you can restore the position of the Holy Lord. Of course Xie Wuxin wanted to block it, but what if he defeated the 10 powerful sages in front of him? There are still many under the sage Lord Tianxian, he can't cope with it today. Xie Wuxin looked at the heavenly fire sage, gritted his teeth, and then suddenly jumped on the spot, shooting at the heavenly fire sage like a bolt of lightning. At the same time, the 10 majestic sages suddenly roared together. The sound waves that shook out from the roar directly shook Xie Wuxin back, preventing him from rushing to the heavenly fire sage. Take him, Sage Master Tianxian said coldly. Wait until the end, we must let Sage Tianwo humiliate him. The 10 sages who played in the battle roared again, and they continued to emit sound waves, and at the same time accelerated their pace and rushed towards Xie Wuxin. Xie Wuxin immediately released a red ball, the ball gradually getting bigger, and finally as big as a small house, rushing towards the 10 sages. However, this huge red bead, which seemed to be very strong, was hit by a few white crystal swords, cracked and fell to the ground, and was directly scrapped. Xie Wuxin immediately realized that the white crystal equipment of the 10 sages in front of him was most likely lent by the high-ranking masters of Wanzhou Mountain to the heavenly sage. This kind of equipment is so powerful, it is simply not what Tianxian Holy Master can have now. It's not fair at all, like the heavenly sage lord. 10 sages suddenly jumped over and surrounded Xie Wuxin from all directions. Seeing their appearance, they seemed to roar at the same time, blasting Xie Wuxin's soul with sound waves at close range. Xie Wuxin's wings are hard to fly. The opponent's white crystal armor is obviously very strong, and he can't break this layer of defense at all. Suddenly, a black shadow flickered, like a rapidly spinning disc. That is the 6 magic mirrors. Coming in a fast spin. The whirling 6 magic mirrors instantly hit a white crystal helmet of a sage. Boom! With a loud noise, the white crystal helmet burst and shattered. After Chen Shang came out of that spatial passage, he hurried here immediately. Do you like this sight? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4666, The Mirror is Sealed. Seeing Chen Zhang's sudden appearance, Xie Wuxin was so startled that she almost stopped breathing, staring at Chen Shang blankly. Chen Shang should have been sent away by him. It is impossible to return, but Chen Shang did appear in front of him, and also smashed a sage's white crystal helmet. This kind of power can be said to be quite amazing. Chen Shang suddenly jumped out, which surprised the sage Yishan and the others. Holy Lord, that guy is Chen Shang. Sage Yishan suddenly shouted. The sage Lord Tianxian looked at Chen Shang. She remembered very clearly that Chen Shang was with the Heavenly Mother sages and the creation sages back then. At that time, she didn't put Chen Shang in her eyes, and she despised Chen Shang very much. Now she also knows that she was wrong at first. Chen Shang, as long as you give your cosmic destiny to the Heavenly Sage Lord, I will spare you a dog's life. The Heavenly Punishment Sage shouted. Chen Shang was very helpless, because the sages of Yishan and the Sage of Punishment finally told the Sage of Tianxian about the matter. In this way, Heavenly Sage Saint Lord shouldn't let him go. Holy Lord, control his mirror, that thing is very powerful. Yishan Sage hurriedly said. I can't do it, the Lord Tianxian said in a low and cold voice. You are the sages, this is your battlefield. The voice of Holy Lord Tianxian was slightly displeased, because the sage Yishan wanted her to take action. On the one hand, it shows that the sage Yishan is not big or small, and it also shows that the sage Yishan is a little afraid of Chen Shang, so he dare not take it personally. The sage Yishan remembers very clearly that they had seen a very powerful astral power at the beginning, and just now, he also felt the same aura from Chen Shang, so he can be sure that the terrifying astral power that he saw at the beginning is Chen Shang released it. At that time, there was also a huge mirror that shielded the sky from the sun, that is, the 6 divine mirrors that circulated the world's proud universe. Therefore, the sages of Heaven Punishment and Sage Yi Tian, looking back, were more afraid of Chen Shang. We are mainly going to control the mirror. As long as Chen Shang can't use that thing, he is no better than a dog, said the sage Yishan, and then began to discuss countermeasures with the sages such as Skyfire. The 10 sages wearing white crystal armors did not continue to step forward, because they were also a little afraid of Chen Zhang's 6 magic mirrors. Especially the sage whose helmet was shattered just now, his soul seemed to be shaken away, and he hasn't fully recovered yet. Chen Shang, why did you run back? Are you not going to die? Xie Wuxin gritted his teeth and cursed, you really wasted my pains, idiot. Chen Shang had put away the Jin Jing training room, and did not intend to return it to Xie Wuxin. In order to thank Wuxin for the Jin Jing training room, he planned to save Xie Wuxin. This would also be considered a double clean. I said, I want to kill the sages of Yishan. Chen Shang said, obviously, you can't kill them at all, so I can only come back. Xie Wuxin just wanted to scold his mother, because Chen Shang was obviously mocking him for being too weak. You have also seen it, what can I do in this situation? What use can you do when you come back now? Xie Wuxin snorted, well, since you are not afraid of death, do whatever you want. Anyway, I plan to resist. With that said, he sat down on the ground, and then lay down slowly. Xie Wuxin lay on the ground, lying flat, obviously giving up resistance. Sage Lord Tianxian really can't make a move. Chen Shang wanted to confirm this. No, Xie Wuxin said. Even so, we can't win. And you have a cosmic fate, she will definitely not let you run away. At this moment, the sages of Yishan summoned dozens of sages, and then they worked together to show what technique. Go attack Chen Shang. Yishan sage shouted suddenly. A sage holding a large white crystal sword immediately slashed a sword at Chen Shang. Chen Zhang's 6 divine mirrors flashed out and stood in front of Chen Shang, and a burst of bright light burst out of the mirror surface. The white crystal sword slashed on the 6 gods' mirrors, shook Chen Shang back, and the shock wave broke out, shattering all the seats in the entire lobby. Xie Wuxin, who was lying on the ground, was also blown away, but that's all. That's it. This sword slashed, without hurting Chen Shang. Everyone once again saw the power of Shen Zhang's 6 magic mirrors. Even Xie Wuxin was too envious of the 6 gods' mirror. In fact, the 6 magic mirrors have absorbed a large amount of gold crystal powder refined from blood crystals, and have been strengthened, plus the creation of the magic liquid that drives the 6 magic mirrors, so it is so powerful. If Chen Shang didn't have 6 divine mirrors, he really wouldn't dare to jump out and face the thousands of sages under the sage master Tianxian. Chen Shang didn't even think about killing those sages, but just planned to kill the sages of Yishan and the others, and then just slipped away. It's now, open. There was a sudden shout from the sage Yishan, and the method of their dozens of sages joined hands to open it as he shouted. I saw a flash of lightning suddenly hit the 6 magic mirrors. This turned out to be a very sudden seal. Afterwards, countless lightning flew from all directions, all hitting the 6 gods' mirrors. The lightning turned into chains of lightning and jumping, binding the 6 gods' mirrors. The sages of Yishan and the others are still in the distance, constantly releasing the power of creation in their bodies to strengthen the barrier. His mirror is under control, now he can shoot. Yishan Shengxian shouted. The 10 sages wearing white crystal equipment decisively shot. They had also realized that Chen Zhang's 6 magic mirrors were very strong. Now that the 6 magic mirrors are locked in the air and cannot move, Chen Shang is weaker than Xie Wuxin in their eyes at this time. Sage Yishan, you are really a bunch of despicable beasts. Chen Shang scolded. You wait, I won't let you go. Ha ha ha, Chen Shang, you rely on such a mirror to survive until now, right? You must be finished today. Yishan Shengxian sneered. The 10 sages who played in the battle suddenly split into 2 teams, attacking Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin respectively. Xie Wuxin, who was originally lying on the ground, was close to him, but just wanted to flee, but was caught, and then beaten by 5 sages. Xie Wuxin knew very well that the white crystal equipment worn by these sages was too strong. No matter how he attacked, he couldn't hurt others, so he didn't make senseless struggles and let them beat them. Then he looked at Chen Zhang's side and found that Chen Shang was also brutally beaten. Chen Shang, when you came back just now, wasn't it bullish? I thought you were a bit capable, but I didn't expect that you were just pretending. Idiot, why didn't you run before? Why did you come back to deliver food? Chen Shang seemed to be beaten violently, but only he knew that the fists of these sages hit him and did not cause any harm or pain to his body. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4667, Lord Strength. Seeing that Chen Shang was beaten violently and did not fight back, the sage Yishan and the others were secretly refreshed, and they also breathed a sigh of relief. When they saw Chen Zhang's appearance before, they exploded the helmet of a powerful sage, and they were still a little frightened in their hearts. Worrying that Chen Zhang's strength can beat the powerful saints, they will definitely be killed by Chen Shang. Therefore, the sage Yishan was a little flustered because of fear, so he directly asked the sage master to take action, which caused the sage master to be displeased. Now, the sages of Yishan and the others have joined forces to suppress Shen Zhang's 6 magic mirrors. Seeing Chen Shang being beaten up, they no longer worry about anything. The heavenly sage lord was just watching, and didn't say much. Chen Shang possessed the cosmic fate, and she also wanted to see what kind of existence it is for a person to have a complete cosmic fate. But now, she is quite disappointed, because Chen Shang, a person with a complete universe, is at this level. Xie Wuxin was angry and hated now, especially when he saw Chen Shang being beaten violently, he couldn't help but curse. After all, he originally sent Chen Shang away, and Chen Shang could safely leave Wanzhou Mountain, and rely on his own ability to avoid hunting. But Chen Shang ran back unexpectedly, which was equivalent to throwing himself into the net and wasting all of his painstaking efforts. What makes Xie Wuxin most uncomfortable is that Chen Shang, a man with a cosmic fate, has fallen into the hands of the Heavenly Sage Lord, which will undoubtedly enable the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord to obtain a very huge benefit. Chen Shang was beaten up and screamed again and again, and he also vomited blood. He always protected his head to prevent his head from being attacked. The sages of Yishan and others saw Chen Zhang's appearance, they were so happy that they laughed again and again, and geared up, waiting to play. The Holy Lord Tianxian also said to them before that when Xie Wuxin was beaten almost, let them insult Xie Wuxin to his heart's content. This can make Xie Wuxin carry a deep humiliation and resentment, and after he refines him into a pill, the quality will be even better. The sage Yishan and the others planned to step on Chen Zhang's feet by the way. Chen Shang was enduring. Although he didn't have the help of the 6 magic mirrors, his body was very strong, and he felt much stronger than the group of convex people he had encountered before. This is all the promotion he got after eating the creation ***** pill. He protected his head, but he just didn't want to make people wonder why he was not beaten to the blood. It deserves to be a guy with a cosmic fate, and his body is very tough. Sage Lord Tianxian saw it from a distance and said, this kind of body strength has surpassed many powerful sages. The heavenly sage lord is not blind, and she can see that Chen Zhang's body is very strong, but because Chen Shang pretended to scream, she thought that Chen Shang was also enduring pain. If you change to some sages who have just started, and be beaten to this level, your body will have become muddy. Sage Master Tianxian said again, if this person grows up in the future, his strength must be very terrifying. Holy Lord, he has the fate of the universe. What are we going to do with him? A woman asked in a low voice. She has been with the Heavenly Lord, and should be the confidant of the Heavenly Lord. I have my own plan. After the sage Lord Tianxian finished speaking, he looked at the sages of Tianhuo and shouted, you can pass, and humiliate Xie Wuxin to your heart's content. What about Chen Shang? Yishan sage asked. Don't move him for the time being, said the Holy Master Tianxian. At this time, the 10 sages wearing white crystal equipment also stopped one after another. Both Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin were held down and could not move. Heavenly Fire sages, Yishan sages, and Heavenly Punishment sages gradually turned sullen and hideous, then quickly flew over and landed in front of Xie Wuxin. Chen Shang was not far from Xie Wuxin. He was pressed on the ground, and then he saw the sage Yishan and the others performing various humiliating behaviors against Xie Wuxin. For example, stepping on Xie Wuxin's face, spitting on Xie Wuxin, and even more aggressive actions, such as urinating and defecating on Xie Wuxin's head. The harm is not great, but it is extremely insulting. Chen Shang sighed as he watched. The sages of Yishan and the sage of Heaven's Punishment, they used to be the overlords of the universe, but now they have become such clowns. He had to admire the clever methods of the Heavenly Sage Lord, who could tame people like a loyal dog. Chen Shang, did you see it? You thought you could climb a big tree, you thought you could use his power to get rid of us, now you see, what is the end of this guy? Ha ha ha, said with a smile. Chen Shang, you completely lost. Heavenly Punishment Sage sneered. 2. When you are in the cosmic divine sea, will you do such a sordid thing? Chen Shang asked suddenly. Both the sages of Yishan and the sage of punishment were stung by Chen Zhang's problem. Yes, they were once the overlord. But now, like a dog, he was called to bite someone. Shut up, the sage Yishan yelled coldly. Chen Shang, look at you, a person with a cosmic fate, but so embarrassed. You are simply wasting the sacred cosmic fate. Do you know what the cosmic destiny is? Do you know what the cosmic destiny is for? Chen Shang asked with a sneer. Sage Yishan couldn't answer for a moment. Not to mention these sages, even the heavenly sage can't answer, and she doesn't know what the cosmic destiny is for. Also, do you know why my mirror is powerful? Chen Shang asked again. The ghost knows what kind of ***** luck you took, and found such a good artifact. Sage Yishan sneered, and then stomped Xie Wuxin. If there is no matching power, do you think such a powerful thing is willing to follow me? Chen Shang suddenly laughed. After finishing speaking, Chen Shang, who was pressed on the ground, suddenly shook his body, and saw his body burst with blue light, and blue crystals appeared. The crystals are like dragon scales, turning into armor to wrap his body. The most shocking thing is that the 5 powerful sages who held him down just now were all shaken out. After Chen Shang jumped up, the 6 divine mirrors that were sealed in midair suddenly turned bigger and broke the seal. Seeing this, Xie Wuxin was pleasantly surprised, and at the same time he cursed Chen Shang in secret. He knew that Chen Shang had pretended to be deliberate before, just to let the sage Yishan and the others come over, so that they could have a chance to kill them. However, Xie Wuxin was beaten up and humiliated by all kinds of things. Sage Lord Tianxian saw this scene, her pupils shrank, and she realized that she had underestimated Chen Shang once again. Chen Zhang's strength is already comparable to the Saint Lord of Wanzhou Mountain. Xie Wuxin doesn't have the power of Chen Shang, otherwise he won't be humiliated so badly. Xie Wuxin is also very puzzled now. Why did Chen Shang have such a huge improvement in just 10 days? World Defying Dan God Chapter 4668, Holy Master Order. Seeing Chen Zhang's sudden show of power, Sage Yishan and others were panicked, and immediately looked at Sage Lord Tianxian and then ran towards her. The 6 divine mirrors whirled over immediately, hovering over them, and then dropped a strong light, setting them in place. The 10 sages wearing white crystal equipment rushed towards Chen Shang at the fastest speed. After all, they are sages. If they lose here, they will not be able to mix in the circle of sages in the future. At this moment, Chen Shang, like a blue dragon possessing his body, was protected by a large amount of dragon scale armor, and he was also holding a blue sword in his hand. The Azure Dragon Slaughter the Demon Sword is in the 6 Gods Mirror, and has also undergone many sacrifices, and it has also incorporated a lot of gold crystal powder to enhance it. After Chen Shang felt the pressure from all directions, he let out a dragon roar, and the sound wave was surging in all directions along with the extremely strong soul power. The 10 powerful sages suffered a tear-like shock in their souls, and the sudden pain in the depths of their souls slowed them down. Chen Zhang's figure flashed, as if a wandering dragon turned into lightning, rushed to one of the sages, and then dropped the knife in his hand. It seemed that he was swinging a knife, but at that moment, several dazzling green lights burst out. The heavenly sage lord saw clearly that Chen Shang had cut hundreds of knives just now, and each of them was extremely powerful. The most frightening thing is that the white crystal equipment that the sage wore was instantly shattered, and his body was also chopped with blood stains, and then was bombarded by Qinglong lightning. Both his body and soul were seriously injured. The Azure Dragon magic technique used by Chen Shang combined with the Azure Dragon Slayer Demon Sword, combined with his current power, can be said to be very terrifying. Seeing this scene, the thousands of sages brought by the heavenly sage lord, all took a breath of air. Because they all know that those sages wearing white crystal equipment are the 10 strongest sages under the sage of Tianxian, but now they have been defeated by Chen Shang with a single knife. After Chen Zhang's sword fell, 2 sages rushed over immediately. The white crystal sword in his hand carried a hot crystal flame, the horrible fire of creation. Even Chen Shang felt his whole body hot. These 2 sages are very fast, and the angle of the siege is also very tricky, and the reaction is very quick. Although Chen Shang jumped and dodged, they still struck Chen Shang with the white crystal sword in their hands. Chen Zhang's shoulder and waist were hit or stabbed a few times, and his body was enveloped in white flames. He now feels a little pain in his body, but it's not a big deal. The rest of Chen Shang also gathered around to prevent Chen Shang from escaping. Get rid of him. The sages of Yishan and the others were held in the distance by the 6 gods' mirrors. They could feel that death is approaching just now. Although the soul power released by Chen Shang is not as terrifying as last time, it also scared them to heartbreak. Chen Shang is surrounded by 9 powerful sages. It is very difficult for them to rush to kill the sages of Yishan. Go and save them, Sage Master Tianxian suddenly shouted, and then dozens of sages rushed towards them. The heavenly sage lord has brought thousands of sages, and these sages can participate in the war. The 9 sages who surrounded Chen Shang also suddenly attacked fiercely and attacked Chen Shang. The 6 divine mirrors suddenly swirled, fluctuating a weak spatial force. What is shocking is that when Chen Shang was besieged, the space around him suddenly fluctuated and then disappeared. When everyone reacted, they found that he had come under the mirror of 6 gods. It is the 6 gods mirror using the power of the space Yuanju to move Chen Shang in space. Chen Zhang's main purpose is to kill the sages of Yishan. If he continues to be besieged, then the sages of Yishan will definitely be rescued. The sage Lord Tianxian didn't think that the sages of Yishan were very important, just because if they were killed in front of their own eyes, it would be very shameless. After all, she brought thousands of sages here this time, and also borrowed very strong equipment. There were only 2 people she had to deal with. One was Xie Wuxin, who was like a bereaved dog, and the other was Chen Shang. If she loses a few sages this time, then she will become a laughingstock in Wanzhou Mountain. Even she didn't expect that the 6 magic mirrors could be so powerful that they could move Chen Shang into space. She remembers very clearly that when Chen Shang came to Wanzhou Mountain with Kalian and Chuangdao sages, he took this mirror. After Chen Shang was moved by the 6 divine mirrors, he swung his sword at the sage Yishan and the others. In just a few moments, Chen Shang cut out thousands of knives. The area enveloped by the sword light seemed to be pouring down from 9 days, and the lightning knife light was like a waterfall. This momentum directly frightened the 9 powerful sages, and the dozens of sages who were about to come were directly shocked by the wave of air. The sages of Yishan, the sages of punishment and the sages of Tianwo, they just died. The broken soul was swallowed by 6 divine mirrors, and his body was blasted into ashes by countless thunder and lightning. The sages of Yishan and the sage of heaven's punishment have just started, and the strength is understandable, but the sage of Tianwo is an old sage, and the strength is considered to be medium, so it is so missing. Chen Shang looked at the 9 sages wearing white crystal equipment, with overwhelming killing intent in his eyes, and a terrifying killing force surged out of his body, transforming into a spirit of heaven. This time I lost. The sage master Tianxian suddenly threw a white crystal token, and the token flew to Xie Wuxin. That piece of white crystal token is very big, with the words, Fallen Heart, written on it. It is Xie Wuxin's Holy Master token. The sage Lord Tianxian handed over the token, which means that she has failed this time in the competition with Xie Wuxin. Although she knew she was embarrassed this time, she had to stop the loss. As for the sages of Yishan, although they lost their lives, the sage of Tianxian lost face, so she only cursed the sages of Yishan in her heart. She has seen the power of Shen Zhang's 6 magic mirrors, and also seen the knife in Chen Zhang's hand and the horror of his strength. Before the 6 gods' mirror, in order to immobilize the sage Yishan, so they did not participate in the battle with Shen Shang. Now that the sages of Yishan are dead, Chen Shang can use the 6 magic mirrors to fight, and the remaining 9 sages wearing white crystal equipment will definitely be defeated in the end, and the expensive white crystal equipment on his body will also be damaged. At that time, she will lose more than the gains. She had brought thousands of sages, but she knew very well that if these sages rushed over to besiege Chen Shang, they would definitely be smashed by Chen Zhang's chaotic swords. Holy Lord Tianxian walked very decisively, without looking back, leading someone to leave the lobby of Xie Wuxin. Although Xie Wuxin was extremely embarrassed, but now he was holding the token, and his whole person became much more energetic. His mood is very complicated now, but he also knows that he has escaped temporarily. Did you become so weak because you lost this token? Chen Shang asked, and he could tell at a glance that this Holy Lord token is not simple. Forget it, Xie Wuxin sighed. The Holy Lord token is originally part of the Holy Lord. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4669, Whereabouts of the Gods. The Holy Master token is part of the Holy Master. What's going on? Is it possible that part of your source of power is in the Holy Master token? Chen Shang asked, a little puzzled. Forget it, the Holy Lord token is equivalent to my heart. For many years, when we absorb the power of creation, some of it will flow into the soul, some of it will flow into the body, and some of it will condense into a heart. When Xie Wuxin spoke, he pressed the token in his hand to his chest, and then gradually merged into his heart. Xinjing, Chen Shang frowned, why can they take this thing away? Are you willing to give it to them too? After becoming the Holy Master, you need to hand over the heart crystals and give them a special refining to become the Holy Master order. Xie Wuxin said, this way, we can guarantee our absolute loyalty. Because they can controlling the heart crystal to repel us can make the heart crystal fly away from our body. Wanzhou Mountain has great control over you. Chen Shang shook his head and said, if you still want to live well, you must get rid of this status quo. I can't get rid of it. Once I jump into this pit, I won't be able to climb out. Xie Wuxin sighed, that's it. If it weren't for you this time, I would be dead. You deserve to be a person with the life of the universe, really. Great. I have a cosmic destiny, will Wanzhou Mountain let me go? That Tianxian Holy Master, she just left, and she really didn't take any action against me. Chen Shang didn't want to leave Wanzhou Mountain now, because he still had to find part of Kalian's cosmic fate, and took her and the sages of Chuangdao away. It's hard to say, your situation may be special. You have a cosmic fate, and your strength is very strong. If they want to do it, they must pay a lot of money. Xie Wuxin frowned and said, anyway, I think it can be concluded that even if the Holy Master Tianxian makes a move, she can't take you down, so she must report to the upper level of Wanzhou Mountain. Sage Lord Tianxian is not my opponent. Am I that strong? Chen Shang couldn't believe it. He himself was not absolutely confident that he could defeat the heavenly sage Saint Lord. Well, I'm not sure. Because I can't see the strength of the heavenly sage Saint Lord now. Maybe only by reaching a level similar to her, can I roughly feel her strength. Xie Wuxin said. Then you feel it? Nothing. I can't see through her either. Chen Shang shook his head and said, I have been paying attention to her just now, beware of her sudden action. She won't do anything, she obeys this rule more than anyone else. Xie Wuxin said. I knew I just scolded her a while ago and forced her to take action. Chen Shang laughed. Xie Wuxin rolled his eyes. He felt that Chen Shang should not be afraid of the Heavenly Sage Lord, maybe the strength is equivalent to the Heavenly Sage Lord. By the way, what are your plans now? Do you want to leave Wanzhou Mountain immediately? Xie Wuxin said, if you want to leave, go to the teleportation room now. Don't go, Chen Shang said. I have something to do in Wanzhou Mountain. I am not afraid to tell you. My friend is a person with a cosmic fate. She has a part of the cosmic fate in Wanzhou Mountain. I want to help her find it. Return. Xie Wuxin was startled, shocked inside. Well, you deserve to be your friend, and you have a cosmic fate. Xie Wuxin sighed. Then if you continue to stay here, you have to be careful. Although Wanzhou Mountain is very rule-based, but they are anxious. Rules and everything are floating clouds. I know. By the way, your Jinjing training room was destroyed in the space channel. Chen Shang scratched his head and sighed, thank you brother, I'm sorry. I couldn't keep your precious training room. Brother Shen, don't come to this set with me. Xie Wuxin smiled. I know you want to swallow it, well, I will give it to you as a gift. He could see through Chen Zhang's lying, and he also knew that the Jinjing training room could not be destroyed in the space channel. Thanks a lot, Chen Shang smiled awkwardly. Is there really no one under your hand? Chen Shang said again. I really need that kind of blood crystal, the more the better. Xie Wuxin knew that Chen Shang could refine blood crystals into gold crystal powder, and that Chen Shang needed to blend in that kind of gold crystal powder to purify the creation power of Wanzhou Mountain. Today's battle will definitely cause a sensation in Wanzhou Mountain. Xie Wuxin touched his chin and said, many holy masters thought I was finished this time, but because of your appearance, I managed to escape. Jia, there will be many holy masters who will be curious about you in the future. You mean, let's go find those holy masters to cooperate, right? Chen Shang asked. Yes, Xie Wuxin nodded and said, how to cooperate specifically, let's talk about those holy masters. There is really no one around Xie Wuxin, so he can't help Chen Shang to dig out blood crystals now. No, if you cooperate, you will easily be betrayed by those holy masters. Chen Shang shook his head and said, let's go together for the blood crystal digging. Can we leave Wanzhou Mountain for a short time? This is no problem, Xie Wuxin nodded, patted his heart, and said, if I really want to run away, my heart will explode, so Wanzhou Mountain is very relieved to us. Although Xie Wuxin was beaten and insulted, he has cheered up now, and it seems that the previous things have never happened. He took Chen Shang to leave Wanzhou Mountain and head to the huge blood crystal sacred mountain. Chen Shang took Xie Wuxin and rode on the 6 magic mirrors, and soon flew to the top of the blood crystal sacred mountain. Before Chen Shang and Kalian, there were also creative sages, who dug some blood crystals here, but at that time he had not eaten the creation ***** pill, and his strength was not as strong as now. Today, after coming to the blood crystal sacred mountain again, he has a completely different feeling from before. He didn't know if it was because his soul became stronger that he could directly peep into the depths of the blood crystal sacred mountain. What makes him somewhat unbelievable is that he can feel a very familiar feeling. Brother Xie, how did the blood crystal sacred mountain form? Chen Shang asked. It was made by Wanzhou Mountain. Xie Wuxin said, in fact, every holy lord has a holy mountain made of world creation power. And the one I manage may be made of very turbid energy, impurities what a lot. At this time, Sister Xiaojing said to Chen Shang, brother, it is Suzaku Ruking Sea. Sister Zuying said before, didn't the Suzaku Ruking Sea enter the Heavenly Nightmare Universe? How could it be here? The Heavenly Nightmare Universe was later destroyed with the Universe Divine Sea, so after Chen Shang, he did not know how to find the great Suzaku Tenderness Silk. Now I met here, inside the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4670, Sacred Mountain Center. Chen Shang also didn't know why Suzaku Tenderness appeared here. He guessed that it was related to the destruction of the universe Shanhai by Wanzhou Mountain. Wanzhou Mountain destroys all the universes in the Divine Sea of the universe, and the Heavenly Nightmare Universe is also among them. Suzaku Rukingsi entered the heavenly nightmare universe, and it is very likely that it was the Wanzhou mountain that entered through what channel at the time of destruction. Following this guess, Chen Shang suddenly thought of something. Xie Wuxin said before that this huge mountain of blood crystals was made with dirty and turbid energy, and would it be that after Wanzhou mountain destroyed those universes, the energy of the destroyed universe would be recovered and condensed into this blood crystal sacred mountain? If this is the case, Suzaku tenderness makes sense here. Although the heavenly nightmare people who came to the Tianmao universe were very strong at the beginning, the Tianmao universe is not a particularly powerful universe in the universe Divine Sea, and the energy is very turbid. It makes sense to be refined into a blood crystal holy mountain. Logically speaking, after being refined by Wanzhou mountain, everything will turn into energy and finally condense into crystals. So Chen Shang is also very worried now. Will Suzaku Rukingsi change its form? Or has it become a crystal or something? Chen Shang told Sister Xiaojing about his worries. Girl Jing, do you think Suzaku Rukingsi will only have the soul body? This is what Chen Shang worries the most. Suzaku Rukingsi bred an egg before, and after hatching, it is the little Suzaku Rukingsi, but the most powerful thing is the body. If the main body is destroyed, I don't know when it will be possible to make the strongest Suzaku tenderness again. Probably not. If even the Suzaku tenderness silk is gone, it will be difficult for the soul to survive. Sister Xiaojing said, Brother, Suzaku tenderness silk should have gone through a lot, and he has become very tough. Trapped in this mountain. Strange, why didn't we perceive it before? Chen Shang said. This time, he and Sister Xiaojing both sensed Suzaku's tenderness, but when they came last time, they didn't feel it at all. Maybe our soul has become stronger. Little Mirror said. Moreover, our soul power has stronger penetrating power and can perceive the inside of the blood crystal holy mountain. Chen Shang landed on a peak of the blood crystal sacred mountain. Xie Wuxin was already busy digging the blood crystals. He saw that Chen Shang hadn't started digging, and he didn't say anything. In Xie Wuxin's eyes, Chen Shang really shouldn't do this kind of work. Chen Shang was secretly discussing with Sister Xiaojing about how to enter the blood crystal sacred mountain, and they soon had a plan. Brother Xie, can we enter the interior of this mountain? Chen Shang asked. No, unless you punch a hole, but you have also seen it. This mountain is very big, and the center is stronger. Even if the heavenly sage lord comes, she can't open a channel to enter the center in a short time. Xie Wuxin shook his head. The center of the blood crystal holy mountain is very strong. Chen Shang asked. Don't you mean that the more the blood crystal is in the center, the better the quality? That's for sure, Xie Wuxin sighed, but it is difficult to reach the center. No one would go to the center to dig the blood crystals in such a spare time. I want to enter the blood crystal center, you are here to wait for me. Chen Shang said. Ah, are you going to dig a tunnel in? Or what? Xie Wuxin was startled, but because it was Chen Shang, he thought that Chen Shang must have other ways. I'll try my method first. If it doesn't succeed, I can only get in through a channel. Chen Shang said, and then jumped on the 6 magic mirrors. The 6 divine mirrors are running, and the faint spatial forces surging around. Xie Wuxin immediately thought that Chen Shang would use a space jump to reach the center. After the 6 magic mirrors were opened, they disappeared in the blink of an eye, leaving only a faint spatial fluctuation. It's amazing. Xie Wuxin saw the news of the 6 divine mirrors and exclaimed, although the creation soul can also give people the ability to jump in space, they can't jump to the center because the place is too strong in quality. Too high, it is even more difficult to open the space channel. Chen Zhang's ability to pass shows that the space power he has mastered is very clever. The 6 gods mirror brought Chen Shang to the center of the blood crystal sacred mountain, and directly locked the location of Suzaku Rukingsi. After arriving, the 6 sacred mirrors first shattered a large number of blood crystals, and then these blood crystals were collected into the 6 sacred mirrors. In this way, a relatively spacious space appeared inside the blood crystal sacred mountain. Then, they saw a fiery red round-shaped crystal embedded in a huge golden crystal. That golden crystal was as big as a 10-foot-long hill, inlaid in the center of the sacred mountain of blood crystals, surrounded by very strong crimson blood crystals. What puzzled Chen Shang was that he did not see the red creative power. He remembered that many red creative powers flew out of this mountain before. Is this Jin Jing? I didn't expect that there are also Jin Jing inside the blood crystal holy mountain, but compared to the whole blood crystal holy mountain, it is too small. Chen Shang saw the Suzaku tenderness silk turned into an egg, and he was relieved immediately. This shows that Suzaku Rukingsi protects herself very well and has not been refined. Next, Chen Shang took out the Azure Dragon Slaughter Demon Knife, cooperated with the 6 magic mirrors, and began to dig a large number of dark high-quality blood crystals from all sides. These blood crystals are far higher in quality than those outside, that is to say, it is easier to refine gold crystals. After digging layer by layer, I finally came into contact with the golden crystal as big as a small hill. Chen Shang carefully dug down the whole piece of gold crystal, and spent most of a day, and then put it into the 6 divine mirrors. How about we dig to what extent? If we dig too much, will it cause a big disturbance? Sister Xiao Jing said suddenly. It would be bad if Wanzhou Mountain knew about it. Yes, Chen Shang stopped and said, go, let's go out and ask Xie Wuxin. Afterwards, Chen Shang passed through the 6 magic mirrors and easily jumped in space and came to it. He had entered the center of the blood crystal sacred mountain for more than a long time, thinking that Xie Wuxin would wait for him to come out, but he didn't expect to see Xie Wuxin after he came out. No, there is the breath of other people here. Chen Shang felt it carefully and found a very familiar breath. It's the Sword God Guard. Chen Shang frowned. I remember the creation soul gift of this product, which can perform space jumps. Why is he here? Xie Wuxin, this waste material, won't be killed by the Sword God Guard, right? Sister Xiao Jing asked. Impossible. No matter how much Xie Wuxin wastes materials, he won't be killed by the Sword Guard. Chen Shang shook his head and said, besides, Xie Wuxin got the Holy Master's order back, it's quite strong. He followed the breath left by Xie Wuxin, and he became invisible, and then flew away from the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Not far from the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, there is a big abyss. Chen Shang is floating above the abyss, and he can sense the aura of Xie Wuxin and Jian Shenwei. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4671, Sword Master. What's the matter? Sword God Guard, why does he appear here? Chen Shang couldn't understand. Although Xie Wuxin was in a downfall, his strength was still very strong compared to a single sage. Sword God Guard is alone, how dare he come to Xie Wuxin, isn't this looking for death? Chen Shang looked at the abyss and suddenly felt something was wrong. The Sword God Guard used to be Xie Wuxin's subordinates. Now that Xie Wuxin sees this stuff, he should just kill it. Why is the Sword God Guard still alive? After Chen Shang released his divine consciousness into the abyss, he could sense the active aura of the Sword God Guard, indicating that the Sword God Guard was still alive. No, Xie Wuxin, this idiot may have been tricked. Chen Shang speeded up immediately, and flew into the abyss in the 6 magic mirrors. Brother, what's the matter? Little Mirror's sister quickly asked when she felt the 6 magic mirrors suddenly accelerate. Only when it is urgent, will Chen Shang increase the speed of the 6 magic mirrors to such a high level. Xie Wuxin was led into the abyss by the Sword God Guard. Maybe there is an ambush in it. I have to hurry up and see. Chen Shang hoped that Xie Wuxin would be well, so that he could stay in Wanzhou Mountain through Xie Wuxin. If Xie Wuxin died, it would be inconvenient for him to stay in Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang quickly entered the depths of the abyss. Looking down from above, the abyss is dark, mainly because the upper layer of the abyss is filled with thick black mist. After passing through the thick black fog, there is a grayish-white light below. Although it is not particularly bright, there is enough light. Something's wrong, Sister Xiao Jing said suddenly. Brother, when I passed through the black mist, it seemed, something touched. Did you feel it? No feeling. Chen Shang thought about it, and when he passed through that layer of black fog, he really didn't notice anything unusual. It's space power, Little Mirror said. Passing through that layer of black fog is like entering a space. However, this space is not too far apart from the southern fallen forest, so it is difficult to feel it. In other words, this abyss and southern fallen forest are 2 open spaces. Chen Shang said. It's almost like this, the 2 spaces are connected together, so after entering the abyss, there is not much feeling. Little Mirror said. The composition of the Heavenly Mother's sacred wilderness is too complicated. Chen Shang still hasn't figured out the structure of the Heavenly Mother Holy Wilderness. Go find Xie Wuxin, this guy is too easy to get the bait, right? Sister Xiao Jing urged. Following the breath of Xie Wuxin, Chen Shang adjusted the flight direction of the 6 magic mirrors, and went to find Xie Wuxin. Along the way, he could sense the breath of the Sword God Guard. The Sword God Guard maintained a certain speed, seduced Xie Wuxin to pursue the attack. The purpose was very obvious. As long as Xie Wuxin is not mindless, he should be able to see it. Why chase the Sword Guard? Sword God Guard had acquired the ability to jump in space after fusing the red power of creation before. He did have enough ability not to be caught up by Xie Wuxin. Chen Shang didn't know where it was. When he and Kalian and the others left the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, he had seen this abyss before, but he didn't notice anything unusual at that time. After coming down now, I knew that there was another space under the abyss. There was a sudden violent surge of qi ahead, with waves of very strong and cold qi swaying away. Chen Shang could feel as if countless sharp swords were flying in. He immediately erected the 6 divine mirrors as a shield to block this wave of air. What is certain is that a fierce battle has taken place ahead. Chen Shang speeded up and saw Xie Wuxin holding a golden jelly stick, and a middle-aged man holding a long sword in a close fight. That terrifying sword aura just broke out from the middle-aged man. The Sword God Guard is floating in the distance to watch the battle. Xie Wuxin, you're a little bit better. The middle-aged man sneered. Although you are a lot stronger, you are still a gangster. Up and down the Wanzhou mountain, you know that you were fed by the Sage Lord. Urine, ha ha ha. When mentioning this incident, Xie Wuxin was angry, but fortunately he was able to suppress it immediately and still fight in a very conservative way. He mainly defends because his strength is not as good as that of the middle-aged man. Sword Sage Master, you are the sacred master of Wanzhou Mountain anyway, why come to bully a small character like me? Xie Wuxin said coldly. Anyway, you are going to be finished today, I will tell you. I want to swallow this blood crystal holy mountain that you manage. Sword Saint Lord said. No way, I'm currently competing with another holy lord, I need the sacred mountain, so I can only focus on you, you are unlucky. After you swallowed my blood crystal sacred mountain, and then blamed the Tianxian, right? Xie Wuxin snorted, I have seen the faces of you dogs again. Ha ha ha, you were really a simple and innocent guy before. Sword Saint Master smiled. Not only that, you also have a guy with a cosmic fate, and he will also fall into my hands. Chen Shang had known before that although the blood crystal sacred mountain belongs to Xie Wuxin's management, and Xie Wuxin can also dig up a large amount of blood crystals, the ultimate ownership of the blood crystal sacred mountain belongs to Wanzhou Mountain. If the entire mountain suddenly disappears, Wanzhou Mountain will definitely be held accountable. What made Chen Shang curious was that the Sword Guardian followed the Sage Yishan, who belonged to the Sage Lord. But after the Sage Yishan was killed by Chen Shang, the Sword God Guard took refuge in the Sword Sage Lord. How did he catch up with the Sword Master? Chen Shang wanted to understand this problem, so after Invisible, he approached the Sword God Guard. The Sword God Guard had also chased down Chen Shang before, and he was Yishan Sage's subordinate, so if Chen Shang had a chance, he would not let the Sword God Guard go. After he approached, Sword God Guard didn't notice, he was still watching the battle very seriously. The Sword Master is a person who uses the sword, and the Sword God Guard also uses the sword, so when the Sword Master fights with the sword, he looks at it very carefully to understand and analyze the sword of the Sword Master. Just when the Sword God Guard looked attentively, Chen Shang suddenly appeared, passed the 6 gods mirror wheel, and smashed it on the Sword God Guard's head, directly impacting the Sword God Guard's soul, instantly stunned. After the Sword God Guard was beaten and confused, Chen Shang was able to use the Desire spell on the Sword God Guard to search for the Sword God Guard's memory. The Sword God Guard was just a dog in the eyes of the Lord, and the Sword God Guard over there had never paid much attention to the Sword God Guard. So the Sword God Guard was suddenly knocked by Chen Shang, and the Sword God Master didn't take it seriously. He could feel the Sword God Guard's sudden absence, only when the Sword God Guard was swept away by the explosion of fighting. Chen Shang was not in a hurry to help Xie Wuxin, because he could see that the Sword Saint Master would not be able to take Xie Wuxin for a while. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4672, Framing. Although Xie Wuxin is very useless, his life is very hard, and he can bear the burden of humiliation, plus being the Holy Lord, he is still very resistant to beating. Chen Shang couldn't make a rush now, because he still didn't understand the strength of the Sword Saint Lord. Under this weird abyss, it seems that the Holy Masters can fight privately at will. In the lobby in Xie Wuxin's sight before, the Holy Lord Tianxian couldn't do it. While watching the battle, Chen Shang searched through the memories of the Sword God Guard with the Dementing Curse, and soon knew how the Sword God Guard got onto the Sword God Master. It turned out that the Sword Saint Master had placed some internal responses under the Heavenly Sage Saint Master's gate, and those internal should focused on the Sword God Guard, so they were drawn to the Sword God Guard. It's very common for saints to intervene with each other. There are many inner ghosts under Xie Wuxin's school, all of which were planted by the Heavenly Sage Holy Lord. The Sword God Guard is just a tool. This time he was mainly to lead Xie Wuxin to this abyss, and he was very successful. If the Sword Saint Lord really wins Xie Wuxin, the Sword God Guard will definitely get a great reward. However, the Sword God Guard has been secretly killed by Chen Shang. This guy is not an important role in the Sword Lord and Heavenly Sage Lord, and he doesn't have any important secrets. Chen Shang didn't gain much, but he learned from the Sword God Guard that the holy mountain managed by the Heavenly Sage Lord was located. The sacred mountain managed by the Heavenly Sage Lord is also in the southern falling forest, and also in this Heavenly Mother's sacred desolation. For Chen Shang, this can only be regarded as a small gain. The sacred mountain controlled by the Heavenly Sage Lord must be heavily guarded, and he now has the blood crystal sacred mountain as enough. Sword Saint Lord is really strong, he should be much stronger than Tian Xian Saint Lord. Chen Shang said in his heart, this Xie Wuxin doesn't look like a man or a woman. I didn't expect him to be so resistant to beatings. What? Although Xie Wuxin is a man, he looks more enchanting and beautiful, with thin skin and tender flesh. But when he was beaten, he was not at all vain, and his body was always beaten in all kinds of brutality, miraculously intact. What's more, even if Xie Wuxin was beaten up, he would not scream, but would yell at him. Chen Shang originally planned to observe and then find a chance to sneak attack the Sword Saint Master, but the Sword Saint Master is really too strong, and it seems that there is no flaw at all. Even if there is a flaw, because the time of appearance is very short, Chen Shang is too far away from the Sword Master, so it is difficult to catch the flaw and sneak attack. So after a lot of deliberation, he decided to give up the sneak attack on the Sword Saint Lord and directly save Xie Wuxin. He immediately shot, and the 6 magic mirrors directly jumped in space to catch Xie Wuxin who had just been beaten away. The Sword Saint Lord was really strong, and when he sensed something suddenly appeared, he flashed to Chen Zhang's side, and slashed with a sword. The 6 magic mirrors used space to jump away in an instant, avoiding that sword. The Sword Saint Lord did not give up, but was a little angry, because if Xie Wuxin ran away, his plan would be ruined. If he wants to swallow Xie Wuxin's blood crystal sacred mountain, he has to kill Xie Wuxin, and then put the blame on the Heavenly Sage Lord. Only Xie Wuxin died, his plan would work. Also, if Xie Wuxin is still alive, once the blood crystal sacred mountain is taken away, Xie Wuxin can immediately notify the upper class of Wanzhou Mountain. Wanzhou Mountain still attaches great importance to the Holy Mountain, and they do not allow the Holy Masters to **** the Holy Mountain from each other, because this will cause an imbalance. So Juggernaut can only chase now. After all, he is the powerful Holy Master of Wanzhou Mountain, able to follow the faint aura and chase Shen Zhang's 6 divine mirrors all the way. Brother Shen, you are finally here. Xie Wuxin almost cried, and he was beaten into a human shape now. Chen Shang didn't tell Xie Wuxin that he had come a long time ago, for fear that Xie Wuxin would yell at him endlessly, which was very annoying. You are careless, Chen Shang said. I sensed the breath of the Sword God Guard, so I guessed that you were led into someone else's trap. My ghost knows that there will be a Holy Master so blatant. Xie Wuxin cursed in a low voice. From now on, I no longer think that all Holy Masters follow the rules. What's the matter with that Sword Saint Lord? Chen Shang asked. He is very famous, and his reputation is very good. According to his various rumors and deeds, he should be a decent person. Xie Wuxin sighed. I don't know that this kind of guy who usually looks respectable is actually the same. This kind of stuff. It seems that you have suffered too little, Chen Shang said. Xie Wuxin closed his eyes to heal his injuries, but he quickly sensed the breath of the Sword Saint Master, and exclaimed, that **** is chasing over, what shall we do? The 6 divine mirrors carried Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin, flew out of the abyss, flew back to the vicinity of the blood crystal sacred mountain again, and then made a space jump and entered the interior of the blood crystal sacred mountain. Arriving inside the blood crystal sacred mountain, Xie Wuxin was startled. Wow, is this the inside of the blood crystal sacred mountain? This kind of dark blood crystal should be of good quality. Wait, why is it so empty here? Could it be you poached it? I dug it away. I'm not sure how much I can dug, so I'm going to ask you. Chen Shang said, I didn't see you when I went out, So I followed my breath and found the abyss. It stands to reason that as long as the sacred mountain is not severely damaged or taken away by a few %, it will generally not be discovered. Xie Wuxin finished speaking, looked around, and whispered, Brother Shen, Jian, will the fellow of the Holy Lord break in? I don't know, if he comes in, I can run away too, don't worry. Chen Shang laughed and said, although a large area has been hollowed out here, compared to the whole blood crystal holy mountain, this is a little blood crystal. It can be ignored. Can I continue to dig? Of course you can, go ahead. Xie Wuxin made a, please, gesture, and then began to heal. These blood crystals are not of much use to Xie Wuxin, and there are so many here, it is nothing for Chen Shang to dig out a small part. Brother Xie, I want to move your blood crystal holy mountain, do you have any opinion? Chen Shang, who was digging for blood crystal, suddenly asked. Xie Wuxin, who closed his eyes and healed his wounds not far away, almost spit out a mouthful of blood. The previous sword master wanted to swallow his sacred mountain of blood crystals, but he didn't expect that Chen Shang would also make such an idea. Brother Shen, if my blood crystal holy mountain is gone, how should I explain to Wanzhou Mountain? Xie Wuxin shook his head quickly and said, furthermore, you can't move it. If it was the previous 6 Dao mirror, Chen Shang really couldn't move it, but now the 6 Dao mirror has been improved a lot, and it can be removed. You can blame the sword master. Chen Shang said. When I came, I grabbed the sword god guard, his soul is still with me. You have sufficient evidence to prove that he did it. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4673, Shenjing Tunshan. Xie Wuxin was still quite persuaded. Although he felt that Chen Zhang's plan to sow discord was fine, he did not dare to agree, fearing that he would be involved. Also, if the blood crystal sacred mountain is gone, he will not be able to explain to Wanzhou Mountain, he dare not take such a risk. Brother Shen, Heavenly Sage Lord and Sword Lord, they are not stupid, they can definitely see this kind of trick. Xie Wuxin shook his head and said, I can't do what you said, it's too risky. Trust me, this thing can be done. Chen Shang smiled. The blood crystal sacred mountain is nothing to Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang saw the worry in Xie Wuxin's heart. But, the status of the Sword Saint Master is not low, far surpasses the Heavenly Sage Saint Master. That **** doesn't dare to fight hard against the Sword Saint Master. Xie Wuxin shook his head repeatedly and said, Brother Shen, seriously, your strategy is too easy. I was seen through. I'll ask you, the blood crystal holy mountain is suddenly gone, won't the Sword Saint Master doubt it? He suspects that you did it. Do you have this ability? Chen Shang asked back. Of course Xie Wuxin has no such skills. Will the Sword Sage Master doubt the Heavenly Sage? Xie Wuxin frowned, it is possible. After all, the Sage always targeted me before. This matter is also well known to Wanzhou Mountain. Xie Wuxin was humiliated by the Heavenly Sage Lord, the entire Wanzhou Mountain Lord knew about it. If you don't want to, then forget it, and I won't force you. Chen Shang sighed. Sage Lord Tianxian has a strong backing, and she may indeed dare to fight against the Lord Sword. The chance for them to bite the dog. Xie Wuxin thought that he was saved by Chen Shang, and that Chen Shang was a person with a cosmic fate, and then thought that he was insulted by the Heavenly Sage Lord before, plus the Sword Saint Lord had beaten him before, and all kinds of insults. Taunting him, this kind of humiliation surfaced in his mind, and he gritted his teeth with hatred. Okay, I'll listen to you, everything is up to you. Xie Wuxin agreed. I'll go out in a minute, you're waiting here. Chen Shang said. My mirror will complete the matter of taking away this blood crystal holy mountain. What? This mirror still has this ability? Xie Wuxin was frightened. He found that he still looked down on the mirror too much. Hey, Chen Shang laughed a few times and said, this is my partner's. You and her will be safe. Brother Shen, wait, what are you doing out? The Sword Saint Lord is still outside. Xie Wuxin quickly grabbed Chen Shang. Of course I went out and had 2 tricks with him. Chen Shang said with a smile. I will pretend to be the person of the Heavenly Sage Lord, and have a few tricks with him to let him know that the Heavenly Sage Lord sent someone to the Blood Crystal Sage Mountain. How do I pretend to be this? Xie Wuxin shook his head and said, he went out to fight him, why should he believe that you are the Sage Lord? Didn't I kill a few sages wearing white crystal equipment before? Their souls are all with me. Chen Shang grinned and said, the souls of those guys have an aura, and the Sage Master Tianxian it's very similar. I believe the Sword Saint Master will definitely be able to tell. Yes, the unique techniques of the Tianxian sect can cultivate the Tianxian soul power. But can you imitate it in such a short time? Xie Wuxin was a little surprised. No problem. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he jumped onto the 6 magic mirrors. The 6 magic mirrors were opened, sending Chen Shang to the outside of the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and the 6 magic mirrors were still in the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, waiting for the opportunity to take away the entire Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. After Chen Shang came outside, he saw the Sword Saint Lord frantically attacking the Holy Mountain of Blood Crystal. They were inside the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain before, so they didn't feel any movement. They didn't expect that after coming out, the Sword Saint Master made such a big movement, hitting a lot of blood crystals flying around. Chen Shang was hiding. He collected a large number of blood crystals that were flew by the Sword Saint Master. There were a lot of Sword Saint Master's power and soul aura inside. The Sword Saint Lord did not find Chen Shang. He was furious with incompetence. He could not accept that someone rescued people under his nose. In his eyes, Xie Wuxin was a dying person, but he was rescued by someone unexpectedly, and he was still hiding inside the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Chen Shang disguised himself for a while, and took out the soul of Tianxian Saint Master and injected it into the White Tiger Horrified Fan. He wants to detonate the soul through the Baihu Jingyu fan, while instantly sweeping out a large amount of power generated by the soul explosion. After he was ready, he cleared his throat and said in a vicissitudes of middle-aged voice, unexpectedly, the famous Sword Master would be incompetent and furious here like a mad dog. The Sword Saint Lord was very angry at first, but now he was taunted by the hidden people, and he roared into the sky with murderous intent. Although my strength is not as good as you can't take me anything. Chen Shang laughed loudly, not to mention the mentality of a mad dog like you, it's even more useless to me. Get out. The Sword Saint Master looked at Chen Shang, and then rushed over immediately. Chen Shang injected the soul of a sage into the soul space inside the Baihu Jingyu fan, and after detonating it inside, he waved the Baihu Jingyu fan to sweep out the power of the explosion. The Sword Saint Master who flew over suddenly felt a strong soul power, and he immediately realized that the strength of the person in front of him was comparable to some weak Saint Masters. Some of the great Sage Master's subordinates, there are sages with this kind of strength, can have such a strong soul power. Tianxian soul power. The Sword Saint Master frowned, and then gradually calmed down. He came here in secret today, but was discovered by Heavenly Sage Saint Master's men. In addition, why are the powerful subordinates of the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord near the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain? The Sword Saint Master suddenly suspected that the Heavenly Sage Saint Master would also attack the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Wait for me. The Sword Master threw down these words and flew away, showing that he still had a lot of scruples about the Heavenly Sage Saint Master. After Chen Shang confirmed that the Sword Saint Lord had left, he immediately returned to the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and released his divine consciousness to infiltrate, contacting Sister Xiaojing. 6 Gods' mirrors came out with Xie Wuxin, and then released a special phantom array domain, covering this area. From a distance, the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain is very calm and there is no change, but inside the phantom array domain, there is a huge 6-dimensional mirror covering the entire Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and it is beginning to be swallowed. It took a short period of time for the 6 magic mirrors to swallow the entire Blood Crystal Holy Mountain. The phantom array did not disappear. The power released by the 6 magic mirrors could last for a while. Brother Xie, after you go back, you will find a way to contact the Heavenly Sage Lord and tell her that the Sword Saint Lord is eyeing your Blood Crystal Holy Mountain. After the Sword Saint Lord takes away the Blood Crystal Holy Mountain, he will marry this matter. Blame her. Chen Shang said, if she doesn't believe it, you can give her the soul of the Sword God Guard. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4674, Tianxian's Wrath. Chen Shang took out a large bead, and sealed the soul of the Sword God Guard in it. Because the soul of the Sword God Guard was searched by the dementing spell, the soul of the Sword God Guard was in a state of chaos. Memory. Ah, you want me to see that woman? Xie Wuxin looked reluctant, and her eyes were full of hatred. After all, going to the Heavenly Sage Lord this time is equivalent to asking for help. He was tortured to the death before, fed with **** in urine, but now he murmured and asked for help. Chen Shang handed the beads sealed with the sword god guard to Xie Wuxin, then patted him on the shoulder, and comforted, "Old Xie, you have survived the humiliation you had done before, and your mood must have been reached a very high level, so this shouldn't be a big deal to you." Xie Wuxin cursed a few swear words in his heart, then took the bead and said, "You have to assure me that no matter it is the Sword Saint Master or the Heavenly Sage Saint Master, they will not end well in the end." "I promise you." Chen Shang smiled. "Old Xie, although you look like a sissy, but in my eyes, you are a real man who can bend and stretch." Humph. Xie Wuxin was very upset. Chen Shang always let him do this kind of work, but he thought about it carefully, and his heart seemed to be much stronger. "You should be able to contact the Heavenly Sage Lord?" Chen Shang asked. "I'm her thorn in the eye, and I hate her again, so naturally there is a way for us to connect." Xie Wuxin said, "Go back to Wanzhou Mountain now." Chen Shang followed Xie Wuxin back to Wanzhou Mountain. The surface of Wanzhou Mountain looks like a mountain, but the inside is a huge space that can even accommodate multiple universes. The interior of Wanzhou Mountain is cut into large and small spaces, and Xie Wuxin has his own space, called Xie Mansion. After coming back, Xie Mansion was empty. "Old Xie, don't you plan to recruit troops?" Chen Shang asked as he looked at the spacious and cold luxurious lobby. "No, the sages I can recruit are all like Yishan sages, and they will betray me at any time." Xie Wuxin cursed in a low voice. "The people I recruit are all inner ghosts. You are also a holy master anyhow, no one under your hand can't do it." Chen Shang said. "Aren't you a human? You can be regarded as one of my sect now." Xie Wuxin curled his lips and said, "Brother Shen, you swallowed my blood crystal holy mountain, don't pat your asterisk and run away." "No, unless I can't go down in Wanzhou Mountain." Chen Shang smiled and said, "If I have to run someday, I will take you with you too." "I can't run away." Xie Wuxin patted the position of her heart, and sighed, "The Holy Lord's order is like a dog chain. It tied me to death. I can only stay in my life. Wanzhou Mountain." From the perspective of Chen Shang, the Holy Lord's order is not difficult at all. Xie Wuxin believed that Chen Shang had obtained the sacred mountain of blood crystals and would continue to stay in Wanzhou Mountain for a long time. However, Chen Shang already had the idea of leaving the blood crystal sacred mountain. Because Sister Xiaojing found a lot of red power in the holy mountain of blood crystal. He has obtained a large amount of creative power. Although he also wants to find the source of creative power in Wanzhou Mountain, it is too difficult for now. Even Xie Wuxin didn't know how powerful Wanzhou Mountain was, so it was very dangerous for him to break into the forbidden area of Wanzhou Mountain. His next plan was to help Kalian find part of the universe's fate, and suddenly left with Kalian and the sage. "When are you going to find the Heavenly Sage Lord?" Chen Shang asked. "No need for me to find her. I have used the special communication method between the Holy Master to tell her to roll over, and she will come soon." Xie Wuxin said. "What way?" Chen Shang was a little curious. "Of course it was the Holy Master order. She once took away my Holy Master order, so I can conduct a very special communication with her." Xie Wuxin said, "I can call her to come over." Not long after he finished speaking, Chen Shang felt the breath of the Heavenly Sage Holy Lord. The Saint Lord Tianxian is wearing a white dress with a simple white crystal headdress and a long hair shawl. She is more elegantly dressed, but she still looks so unkind, like a cold female butcher. Looking at her dress, it is not for fighting. After all, in Wanzhou Mountain, there are very few fights between the holy masters. "Xie Wuxin, why did you ask me to come? Do you want to understand? Willing to become a resource to help me become stronger, right?" asked Tianxian Holy Master. If someone else said so, Chen Shang would think it was a ridicule, but the Heavenly Sage Lord seemed to really think that Xie Wuxin was willing to die. Thinking about it, you can understand. After all, Xie Wuxin was tortured so badly by the Heavenly Lord before, and now he is calling the Heavenly Lord. He must be unable to defeat the Heavenly Lord, so the Heavenly Lord thinks of thanks. No intention to surrender. "Woman, you have a big deal." Xie Wuxin stood up abruptly, carrying his hands on his back, in a condescending posture. It didn't look like he had been abused by the Heavenly Sage Lord. Chen Shang suddenly admired Xie Wuxin, but he was able to show such a domineering posture. "What's the big deal?" The Holy Master Tianxian kept looking at Chen Shang and asked lightly. She didn't take Xie Wuxin's words to heart, as if she didn't care. "My blood crystal holy mountain is gone," Xie Wuxin said angrily. Sage Master Tianxian frowned slightly, seemingly unbelieving, and said, although the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain is the worst sacred mountain in the history of Wanzhou Mountain, it is also valuable. Why is it gone? Blame you, Xie Wuxin yelled. What kind of grievances do you have with the Sword Saint Lord? You solve it by yourself, why do you want to involve me? Speaking of the Sword Master, Tianxian Saint Master Yuli's cold face was slightly solemn. What the asterisk is going on? Asked Tianxian Saint Lord. The Sword Saint Master took away my Blood Crystal Holy Mountain. He used this kind of trick only to punish you. He was going to kill me. Fortunately, I survived. Xie Wuxin was angry, yelled, I blame you. Xie Wuxin, you can hate me, but you can't talk nonsense about this kind of thing. Saint Lord Tianxian said coldly, the consequences are very serious. Do you know the soul of this product? Xie Wuxin threw the beads that sealed the sword guard to Tianxian Holy Master. After the Lord Tianxian took it, he said coldly, so it's this dog. Although he is a dog, he is also my dog. Fighting a dog depends on the owner. You start with him in private and don't let me go. In the eyes. He's not your dog. People are the loyal dog of the Sword Saint Lord. If you don't believe me, look at his soul memory. Xie Wuxin sneered. Bitch, you have been betrayed one day, and still betrayed by such a humble dog. Sage Lord Tianxian searched the memory of the soul of the sword guard, and her face suddenly became frosty, showing that she was very angry at the moment. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4675, Dog Bites Dog. The Sage Lord Tianxian was indeed angry because he was betrayed by his subordinates, and the Sword God Guard was not even a sage, but an inconspicuous dog, but he dared to betray her like this. The angry heavenly sage Saint Lord soon crushed the astral bead in his hand. If you destroy this guy's soul, you have no evidence. Xie Wuxin screamed in surprise. Saint Lord Tianxian took a deep breath, and then put away the soul bead. If the upper class of Wanzhou Mountain came to investigate in the future, she would have evidence. Your Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain is very special. It is not located within Wanzhou Mountain. The asterisk of the Sword Master can indeed easily take away your Wanzhou Mountain. Said the Heavenly Sage Lord after he calmed down. If I was killed by the Sword Master and the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain disappeared again, can he really blame you? It doesn't always feel so easy, right? The upper class are not so foolish. Xie Wuxin said in a tone. It becomes a lot of relaxation. If he really succeeds in killing you, no one knows that he was planning all this secretly. And he must have a way to make the upper class suspicious of me. Said the Holy Master Tianxian, when the time comes, Sword the dog, the guard, will bite me too. Even if the upper class didn't punish me in the end, I would leave a bad impression on them. What are you going to do next? Xie Wuxin asked. The Holy Lord Tianxian looked at Xie Wuxin, but did not answer, as if he was thinking about something. At this time, Chen Shang felt that something was wrong, and immediately released the 6 magic mirrors. Holy Master Tianxian also suddenly made a move. She was very close to Xie Wuxin. The claws of the hand she stretched out instantly turned into sharp blades, which were inserted into Xie Wuxin's chest. The 6 divine mirrors also flew past at the same time, slamming into the head of Tianxian Holy Lord. Sage Lord Tianxian was knocked into a hollow forehead, but still stood still on the spot, showing how terrifying her strength is. What are you doing? Xie Wuxin had the slowest reaction. He roared and slapped Tianxian Saint Lord with a palm. I have to say that Xie Wuxin still has some strength. At this moment, he showed the strength that the Holy Master should have, and blasted the Heavenly Sage Holy Master out. After being beaten into the air, Holy Lord Tianxian quickly turned and left. Before leaving, she gave Chen Shang a vicious look. The murderous intent of hatred made Chen Shang shudder. Damn bitch, Xie Wuxin yelled, but didn't catch up. She is going to kill us. Chen Shang said solemnly. Why? Xie Wuxin cursed in a low voice. I clearly told her to tell her Sword Saint Master's conspiracy, why did she kill me? Kill us, and then she will immediately take away your Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Then she will be blamed on the Sword Saint Master. Chen Shang sneered. Use this to counter the Sword Saint Master, and at the same time get yours. Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, this is a huge benefit. His uncle, all of them are old yin goods. Xie Wuxin cursed, then took out a handful of powder and smeared it on his chest. His Holy Master order was almost caught just now. She dared to kill you here, so she is also taking a risk. But, if her strategy succeeds, she can finally throw everything away to the Sword Saint Master. Chen Shang said. At that time, there will be no one at all concerned about your life and death. In their eyes, you are just a tool to fight each other. Mother, Xie Wuxin scolded again. During this time, let's hide better. Chen Shang exhorted. Next, just watch them bite the dog. After the Lord Tianxian left the Xie mansion, he immediately sent people to investigate the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and found that there had been battles near the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, and there were a lot of fragments of the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Those fragments were broken and dropped by the Sword Saint Lord, and the strength of the Sword Saint Lord remained inside, which was also obtained by the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord. In addition, Tianxian Saint Lord also sent people to stare at Xie Wuxin's Xie mansion. She wanted to know Xie Wuxin's whereabouts at all times. The Blood Crystal Holy Mountain was shrouded by the illusion of 6 divine mirrors, and the remaining power of the illusion was not much, and it was gradually fading now. After a few days passed, the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain was gone. After hearing the news, the Sage Lord Tianxian concluded that the Sword Saint Lord had taken the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. The Sword Saint Master also got the disappearance of the Sacred Mountain of Blood Crystals. They had never doubted Xie Wuxin, because they all knew that Xie Wuxin had no seeds, he was a counselor, and he didn't have enough ability to take the Sacred Mountain of Blood Crystals in a short time. Although Xie Wuxin is surrounded by more people like Chen Shang, who has the lifestyle of the universe, they think that Chen Shang is still too weak to do this kind of thing. The Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain is huge. If you want to move the entire Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain in a short time and proceed quietly, only a powerful Holy Master can do it. Sword Saint Master and Tianxian Saint Master, they both have this ability. Chen Shang has been studying the eggs formed by Suzaku's tenderness silk these days. After in-depth investigation, he discovered that there is a lot of red creativity inside the Suzaku tenderness silk. It was Suzaku tenderness who absorbed it herself, because it couldn't suppress the negative influence brought by the red power of creation, so she sealed herself and turned into an egg. Brother, this is a bit tricky. Sister Xiaojing has been studying and discussing the situation of Suzaku's tenderness with Shen Shang in the past few days. I can only help her purify the red creative power. Chen Shang said. But no matter what, Suzaku Rukinsi has had this experience and will definitely become very strong. Yeah, I can't handle this alone. I need your brother and you to participate. Sister Xiaojing said. I can now sacrifice the Qinglong Tumodao and the Baihu Jingyu fan by myself, but the situation of the Suzaku tenderness silk it's so special, I don't know how to start. No hurry, Chen Shang said. When the biting of the dog by the Heavenly Sage Saint and the Sword Saint is over, we will find another time to proceed. Chen Shang has now obtained the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, which is a tremendous gain. But he still has some worries, that is, Xie Wuxin is very likely to be unable to withstand the next pressure, and then tells it all. So he has to deal with Xie Wuxin, this is an unstable factor. The other thing is that he wants to contact Kalian and Chuangdao sages, discuss with them, and prepare to escape from Wanzhou Mountain. If the situation is urgent, you can even skip the part of the cosmic fate of Kalian for the time being, and leave Wanzhou Mountain as soon as possible. Chen Shang felt more and more that the holy masters of Wanzhou Mountain were very vicious and vicious. If they fell into their hands, they would definitely not end well. Although a few days have passed, the vicious gaze that Tianxian Holy Lord was leaving before made him unforgettable. Whenever he thinks about it, he will feel fear in his heart. Xie Wuxin suddenly panicked and yelled outside Shen Zhang's room, Brother Shen. Brother Shen, here, they are here. The two bitches, Sword Saint Lord and Tianxian Saint Lord, are here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4676, Heavenless Realm. When Chen Shang heard this, he immediately became alert, and quickly analyzed in his heart, why the Sword Saint Lord and the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord came. Just the two of them? Chen Shang asked. There are only two of them. They look calm, I can't see that they have other mood swings. Xie Wuxin was very anxious, walking around outside the door, complaining, Brother Shen, they shouldn't bite dogs. Is it? Why are you looking for me together now? Are you trying to kill me? The Heavenly Sage Lord almost killed Xie Wuxin before, so Xie Wuxin also had a shadow, so he did not dare to face these two powerful lords alone. Chen Shang opened the door and came out, but he couldn't guess the purpose of the Heavenly Sage Lord and the Sword Lord. Go, I will meet them. Chen Shang said. Brother Shen, why don't we run away? Xie Wuxin said, I don't want the Xie mansion. There is a space in Wanzhou Mountain, called the domain of Wushan. The upper-class people of Wanzhou Mountain have been unable to manage this place. We can hide there temporarily. Domain without heaven. Chen Shang was suddenly curious about this place. He was thinking about escaping from Wanzhou Mountain before, but he was very unwilling to give up. Because he wanted to unearth the secrets of Wanzhou Mountain, he didn't have to be forced, and he didn't want to leave Wanzhou Mountain. I know how to get to this place. Xie Wuxin said, it's just that, it's very dangerous to enter the Wushan realm. Because on the road, someone will intercept. Wanzhou Mountain can't rule the Wushan realm, so it can only prevent entry into the realm of skylessness. In other words, those who can enter the realm of the sky are all ruthless characters. Chen Shang frowned and said, or, these people are very dissatisfied with Wanzhou Mountain. There are so many saints and sages of Wanzhou Mountain. Indeed, many people are dissatisfied with the upper class of Wanzhou Mountain, or committed some things, but cannot stay away from Wanzhou Mountain, so in the end they can only break into the Wushan Mountain desperately. Domain, Xie Wuxin said. Xie Wuxin probably didn't have the ability to enter the realm of heavenlessness, otherwise he would have already entered. But now I met Chen Shang, and he thought there was hope that he could break in. This is the final retreat. Let's go and see what the Sword Saint Master and the Tianqian Saint Master came from now. Chen Shang laughed. If there is really no way, let's go to the domain of Wushan again. Brother Shen, how come you can still laugh? We must die 9 deaths this time. Moreover, even if we enter the realm of skylessness, it will be difficult for us to survive in it. Xie Wuxin almost burst into tears. After all, it is now 2 powerful holy masters coming fiercely, and he has offended them. Chen Shang came to the lobby with Xie Wuxin, who was trembling. Seeing Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin, the Sword Saint Lord and Tianqian Saint Lord immediately released their soul powers. Obviously, they were not aimed at Xie Wuxin, but at Chen Shang. Chen Shang, you want to provoke us? What a good method. Sword Saint Master sneered. You are indeed a person. We were ordered to catch you. The Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain was taken away by you. Although you don't know what means you used to take the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, we have determined that you did it. Sage Master Tianqian coldly said, where is the Blood Crystal Holy Mountain hidden? You can reduce your punishment by speaking out. Xie Wuxin trembled in his heart. He didn't expect this incident to be revealed, and he and Chen Shang teamed up to take the Sacred Mountain of Blood Crystals. That's an accomplice. Chen Shang acted very calmly, and he did not expect that the Sword Saint Master and the Heavenly Sage Saint Master came for this. He believes that the Sword Saint Lord and the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord should not have enough evidence to prove that he took the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, but they can speculate. One more thing, they came to arrest him, probably not because of the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, they just came for his cosmic destiny under the guise of this. Do you have any evidence that the disappearance of the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain is related to me? Chen Shang said, how could I have that ability? If I could really take the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain, I would have run away. Don't quibble. The upper class of Wanzhou Mountain, send us to capture you. Sword Saint Master said. They said you took it, it must be you. Tianqian Holy Lord suddenly shot. Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin's mirrors flashed, creating a strong spatial turbulence. Both the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord and the Sword Saint Lord were shaken by this terrifying wave and hit the wall of the lobby. Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin also disappeared in this lobby. I have opened the Xie Mansion's large array, and I can temporarily trap them for a while. Xie Wuxin said hurriedly, and operated the teleportation room in the teleportation room. Chen Shang used the spatial power of the 6 divine mirrors to instantly jump to this teleportation room. After Xie Wuxin opened the teleportation array, he immediately came to another teleportation room, and then rushed towards the door with Chen Shang. After leaving the door, Chen Shang saw a vast and boundless wasteland. Above the wasteland, there is a huge purple vortex, surrounded by purple lightning, that should be the passage into the skyless realm. It's terrible, there are a lot of doormen here. Xie Wuxin suddenly shouted. The group of doormen are very strong. Chen Shang also sensed that dozens of powerful men who burst out with a strong soul power came from all directions. This kind of soul power is actually comparable to the Heavenly Sage Lord, although not as terrifying as the Sword Saint Lord, but it is dozens of them. With so many holy masters guarding here, it can be seen that Mount Wanzhou really attaches great importance to it. What shocked Chen Shang the most was that there were hundreds of astral powers that erupted, each of which was stronger than Xie Wuxin, indicating that there were hundreds of holy lords in this vast wasteland. The small mirror in Chen Zhang's hand flashed suddenly, leading them to jump from space to the huge purple electric vortex in the sky. After they appeared in the sky, there were countless terrifying creation forces blasting from a distance, like several huge thunder and lightning, coming with extremely fierce and tyrannical soul power. Chen Shang took Xie Wuxin one step faster and entered the purple electric whirlpool. At this time, the Heavenly Sage Lord and the Sword Lord have also arrived. After the Sword Master appeared, the other Saint Masters who were responsible for guarding this place were full of vigilance at first. After all, most of the Saint Masters who came here wanted to enter the realm of Heavenless. It is the Sword Saint Lord that appears now, and they don't want to face it. After all, the Sword Saint Lord is too strong. What about those two people? Sword Saint Master said coldly. Run, a goalkeeper whispered. Sword Saint Master, are you here to catch them? How about it? Sword Saint Master snorted angrily. Do you know who is the one who ran away? Xie Wuxin, isn't that the Saint Master of waste materials? Someone said. Do you think that I am so downhearted to hunt down this kind of waste material? Xie Wuxin, this kind of waste material, is also worthy of me to chase down. Sword Saint Lord said angrily. The person who ran away has a cosmic fate. Yes, you are all negligent and didn't stop them. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4677, Supreme. The Sword Master said so, obviously shirked the responsibility, and the group of holy masters who were in charge of the gate were immediately dissatisfied. Although the Sword Master is very famous and strong, but at the moment being so unreasonable, it also makes this group of holy masters angry. Sword Saint Lord, if you let him run here, don't you have no responsibility at all? Besides, the upper class has also said that anyone who has the ability to enter the realm of the sky can't stop it. Don't stop it. An old man angered. Everyone can see that it is obviously the Sword Saint Master who can't catch people, and finally ran here. You have hundreds or thousands of people guarding here, but you can't stop two of you. What are you not rubbish? The Sword Saint Lord is not afraid of the Lord here. The Heavenly Sage Saint Lord beside her was also silent, her status was too low to dare to quarrel with the Saint Lord here. The guy with the cosmic fate, the ghost knows how strong he is. Isn't it normal that we can't stop it? Since that guy ran away under your hands, you should be very clear that he used extremely clever space power to jump. How do we stop? The old man who guarded the gate sneered. Besides, is it our fault? It doesn't count if you say it, but the upper class says it. At this moment, there seemed to be a voice coming from the sky, and everyone looked into the sky. Sword Sage Master, Heavenly Sage Master, first go back and handle the affairs of your sect. Arrange the affairs of your respective sects, and then enter the realm of the skyless and bring people back. Master, we are going to enter the realm of skylessness. What is going on inside? Sword Saint Master asked. Others are now acting very humble, only the Sword Saint Lord dared to ask. When you enter the realm of the skyless, someone will naturally meet you and provide convenience to you, and they will help you to catch Chen Shang and bring it back. Said the superior. Master, I have one more thing. Sword Saint Lord said. Chen Shang is such a demon, even if we enter the realm of the sky, we may not be able to capture him. Can we send a special hunter? Sword Master, this is an opportunity for tempering. If you can't grasp it well, it will be difficult if you want to go to a higher level in the future. The superior sighed softly. If you want to enter the upper level of Wanzhou Mountain, you must have merit. I understand, thank you very much. The Sword Saint Master was beaming with joy. The other holy masters were all envious at this moment, and their eyes looked at the Sword Saint Master a little more in awe. Holy Lord Tianxian didn't say anything, because she also had a share to follow this time, and it also gave her a chance to hone. She didn't want to talk, but suddenly thought of something. She said, Master, can I bring other helpers in? Yes, the superior replied, but not too many, at most control within 5 people. If you go in too much, the master of the skyless realm will blame us. Everyone was slightly startled. There was a master in the realm of Wushan, whose status seemed to be very high. Even this master was more jealous. Yes, Tianxian Saint Lord responded. The Sword Saint Master and the Tianxian Saint Master left separately and returned to their mansion to arrange various affairs in the gate. After the Lord Tianxian returned, he immediately found Kalian and the Chuangdao sage, because she knew that the two had a good relationship with Shen Shang. She intends to bring Kalian and Chuangdao sages into the realm of Wushan, and then see if she can find Chen Shang through them. When necessary, you can also use them to threaten Chen Shang to submit. The scale of these two holy masters is not small, and there are a lot of things to be explained. They make an appointment for 7 days before entering the realm of skylessness together. Chen Shang took Xie Wuxin, and after entering the purple vortex, he soon came to the realm of Wushan. There is also a purple vortex in the realm of no sky, and the place where the purple vortex is located is a green grassland, endless. After Chen Shang came to Wushan realm, he suddenly felt a very familiar feeling. He can't tell what's going on either. As soon as they arrived, a large group of people flew over and surrounded them in the air. This group of people are wearing uniform silver armors, and their strength is very strong, not weaker than the Holy Lord. "Who are you?" the middle-aged leader shouted. "What position are you in at Wanzhou Mountain?" "I am the Holy Lord, he is my subordinate," Xie Wuxin quickly replied. "We were chased and killed, so we escaped here. Brothers, please be accommodating. Go over there and wait." The middle-aged man pointed to the grass not far away, where there was a large teleportation formation. Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin landed on the ground and quickly thanked these people, then stepped into the teleportation formation and waited patiently. "Brother Xie, the domain of Wushan doesn't seem to be particularly messy." Chen Shang looked around and said, "These big brothers are also very easy to talk, and they didn't make us embarrassed. I don't know the realm of the skyless, after all, I haven't been here. Moreover, people who enter the realm of skylessness have never returned to Wanzhou Mountain, so it is difficult to understand the truth." Xie Wuxin is more relieved now. "Because after I came here, I was not oppressed." After Chen Shang teleported into the array, he carefully observed the people wearing silver armors, opened his mind and looked at them, and found that these people have powerful heart crystals in their bodies. The strength of their hearts is similar to that of Xie Wuxin, indicating that they are at the level of the Holy Master, but they are not particularly strong. "Old Xie, you said that the domain of the skyless is also in the Wanzhou Mountains, right?" Chen Shang asked. "It should be in the same space." Xie Wuxin nodded and said, "Otherwise, my heart crystal will definitely explode. I can't stay away from Wanzhou Mountain. If it is too far away from Wanzhou Mountain, my heart crystal will react and remind me not to run too far." Chen Shang immediately contacted Fang Qing. "Qinger, try to contact Leoner." Chen Shang said, "See if you can get in touch." Fang Qing and the others often communicate with Kalian, and they are all learning from each other, discussing cultivation, and wanting to become stronger. So when they want to get in touch, they can get in touch easily. "Big brother Shen, I have contacted Sister Leoner." Fang Qing said, "Do you have anything to tell her?" Chen Shang immediately told Kalian about the Holy Lord Tianxian chasing him and Xie Wuxin, and told Kalian and the creative sages to be wary of the Holy Lord Tianxian. Kalian told Chen Shang through Fang Qing that Heavenly Sage Lord would take them to a place called the Domain of No Heaven in a few days, and Heavenly Sage Lord didn't tell them what to do there. Chen Shang was shocked when he heard the news. He immediately guessed that the Holy Master Tianxian brought Kalian and the others over to capture him. This trick was indeed unexpected by Chen Shang. Chen Shang told Kalian more details. Kalian didn't trust the Heavenly Sage Lord at first, but now that she knows Chen Zhang's situation, she feels even more disgusted with the Heavenly Sage Lord. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4678, Boundless City. Chen Shang has now received very important news. The Heavenly Sage Lord and the Sword Lord will come and arrest them in a few days. Xie Wuxin sat on the ground, in a very relaxed state, as if everything was going well, as if he had already escaped from the sea of suffering. Moreover, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he could see that he was in a very good mood now, as if he was about to reach the pinnacle of his life next. Chen Shang saw that Xie Wuxin was so happy, and didn't want to spoil his good mood, but Tianxian Saint Lord and Sword Saint came after him. This was a big deal, and he had to tell Xie Wuxin. "Old Xie, you're in a good mood," Chen Shang said in secret. "Yes, very good. In the next few days, I will no longer be oppressed by Wanzhou Mountain. This kind of life is what I have dreamed of for many years," Xie Wuxin said. "Old Xie, tell you a bad news." Chen Shang looked at the people nearby. He is also very vigilant now, that's why he used divine sense voice transmission to talk. "What's the news?" Xie Wuxin frowned, and then asked Chuanian. "Sword Sage Master and Tianxian Sage Master come over to arrest us." Chen Shang transcribed. "Are you sure? How did you know?" Xie Wuxin didn't believe it, because Chen Shang had been by his side, so how did he know about Wanzhou Mountain? I'm sure. Chen Shang didn't explain, but looked at the people around him and continued to transmit his voice. You said, in the realm of the sky, are there any people who specialize in the work of Wanzhou Mountain? For example, there are people who help Wanzhou Mountain to arrest us. Maybe someone here will be responsible for receiving the Heavenly Sage Lord and the Sword Lord. Xie Wuxin was in a good mood, but now it has become very bad. He also realized that the people wearing silver armor on this grassland are not very credible. Maybe there are people from Wanzhou Mountain. Xie Wuxin doesn't know much about Wuxian, so he doesn't know what's going on here. Chen Shang looked at a person outside the teleportation formation and asked, "This big brother, when can we leave this place?" "Wait a few more days, when there are more people, we will open the teleportation array again." The person replied, "Now there are only you two, but it is very wasteful to open such a large teleportation array." Chen Shang suddenly thought that Heavenly Sage Saint Lord and Sword Saint Master would come over in a few days. If they happened to come, then it would be troublesome. Xie Wuxin also immediately thought that people here might cooperate with Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang nodded to Xie Wuxin and signaled that he was going to make a move, but he didn't say what he wanted to do. He just took out the 6 magic mirrors, let the little mirror pass through the 6 magic mirrors to establish a sense of the teleportation array, and then secretly turn on the teleportation array. This teleportation array is quite complicated. It took a few hours for the little mirror's sister to secretly invade the core of the teleportation array, and can control the teleportation array to turn on. "Old Xie, get ready," Shen Shang said in a voice transmission. "I'm going to start the teleportation array." Xie Wuxin was surprised. How did Chen Shang do it? He has been in Wanzhou Mountain for many years, so he knows very well that this kind of teleportation array is very complicated, and it usually takes a long time to study this kind of large teleportation array. Under the control of Sister Xiaojing, the teleportation array was activated. At this time, there was gradually movement, and spatial fluctuations appeared around the teleportation array. The guards wearing silver armor on the grassland rushed over after they found out. "Quickly stop them. These are the people from Wanzhou Mountain, don't let them leave here," someone shouted. Just when they rushed over, the teleportation array had been activated, and Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin suddenly disappeared. Chen Shang heard that person's call very clearly just now. He and Xie Wuxin both guessed it right. There really is Wanzhou Mountain's inner answer here. "Mother, I can't get rid of Wanzhou Mountain even when I come to this kind of place." Xie Wuxin began to despair again. In the blink of an eye, they came to another space. Appeared directly in a big teleportation room. Xie Wuxin was very familiar with this kind of teleportation hall, and immediately led Chen Shang out of the teleportation hall, and then came outside. They came out of a huge building. Inside that huge building, there were a large number of teleportation arrays, so at this time, many people came out from the teleportation room just like them. After going outside, they were all shocked. Here, there are huge Jinjing buildings everywhere, many of which are hundreds of stories high. And the floor of the road is also made of gold crystal. There are golden crystals everywhere here, and golden crystals are as worthless as the stones on the side of the road. Chen Shang finally found so many gold crystal powders that were refined through blood crystals. This is Jinjing. Xie Wuxin swallowed, and whispered, "Brother Shen, after coming here, we won't worry about Jinjing anymore. There is something wrong with the gold crystals here." After Chen Shang probed deeply, he found that the inside of these gold crystals was not very pure. "Really, why didn't I find out? This is a very pure Jinjing," Xie Wuxin said in a low voice. "Let's leave here first," Chen Shang said. After disguising and changing their faces, the two of them quickly moved away from the teleportation building and talked with people on the street from time to time. "I learned that this is a city called Boundless City, and it is also very large. If you want to walk, it will take at least half a year to get out of this Boundless City. Also, most of the people in Boundless City are ordinary people. They are only a few hundred years old at most, and only monks can live a long time." Both Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin were very surprised, especially Xie Wuxin. He had never seen any ordinary people. He was born in Wanzhou Mountain, he has been practicing since he was a child, and he has not weakened strength. And ordinary people here are no different from ants in his eyes. "Brother Shen, are they all ordinary people? Haven't practiced a little bit? They don't seem to be suitable for cultivation either." Xie Wuxin and Shen Shang were strolling in the streets of the city. No, their bodies are very special. They don't look strong, but I always feel that their bodies are difficult to destroy. Chen Shang felt that the people here were weird. In short, everything in the heavenless domain was very unusual. He couldn't tell exactly what was going on. Just after they wandered on the street for a long time, the Jinjing building in the boundless city, or the Jinjing floor under their feet, suddenly showed a faint golden light. Not long after, colors gradually appeared on the surface of Jinjing, and then two colorful portraits of real people appeared. One was Chen Shang and the other was Xie Wuxin. Their appearance appeared on all the golden crystal plains of the entire borderless city. This is a wanted order for the whole city. Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin, they are now looking at the golden crystal floor tiles under their feet and saw their own portraits. They looked up and looked around, and there were portraits of them on the golden crystal plane all over the street. Fortunately, they have all been disguised and changed their clothes, but they are still shocked in a cold sweat. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4679, Lost in the City. When Chen Shang probed these gold crystals, he found that something was not right. Now it seems that there is something inside these gold crystals that can send messages at any time. Fortunately, he didn't pry away a gold crystal, otherwise he would definitely be found or even tracked down. Brother Shen, will this kind of wanted order last forever? Then it's hard for us to mix up. Wherever Xie Wuxin went, he could see the portraits of herself and Shen Shang appearing on various Jinjing, which made him feel uncomfortable. Probably not, Chen Shang said. If this continues, the consumption will be huge. He discovered just now that all the gold crystals here have energy flowing inside. It takes energy to drive the gold crystals to display portraits. If this is maintained, the energy consumed will be huge over time. Infinite City is so vast, and the streets and alleys have to be maintained in this way, so where does the energy come from? I hope it won't last. Xie Wuxin has been very uncomfortable, always worried that she will be recognized. And according to the wanted order issued, the reward is to catch them alone, and you can get 100,000 caddies of high-grade gold crystals. Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin didn't know exactly what the top-grade Jinjing of 100,000 Jin meant. After they went through them to inquire, they found that the Jinjing of 100,000 Jin was a huge fortune. According to the income of ordinary people here, it will take about 5 years to make it. At night, Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin walked on the street. They didn't have a place to live, because they needed Jinjing to stay in the inn, and they also needed an ID badge. They didn't have an ID badge. Fortunately, even at night, Boundless City has very lively places. They are not very eye-catching when they wander on the street or go to rest in some gardens. In the middle of the night, Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin were on a bench by a river and saw a tall building in the distance. The portrait of them gradually disappeared and returned to the appearance of Jinjing again. The entire Boundless City, the wanted order for them, has been withdrawn. As Shen Shang said before, it won't last too long, and Xie Wuxin is relieved now. What are we going to do next? Xie Wuxin said, it is difficult for us to settle down here. We have to leave this Boundless City. We still don't know enough about the domain of no sky. Chen Shang said, for example, this Boundless City is very mysterious and not simple. It is true, there are a lot of people here. But they don't have much power, just ordinary people. Xie Wuxin said, the realm of Wushan shouldn't be like this, it should be the strong like the forest. Old Xie, Infinite City is very big. But have you ever thought about the world outside of Infinite City? Chen Shang said, we asked ordinary people here before, many of them have never left Infinite City. Could it be that the cultivators are all outside the borderless city? Xie Wuxin frowned and said, but, why do you want to build a borderless city? Isn't this unnecessary? No, there are a lot of gold crystals in Infinite City. According to my estimation, the gold crystals here are equivalent to the size of more than 100 blood crystal giant mountains. Chen Shang thought as he said, and there are 100 such gold crystals. Giant mountain, Tuanzhou mountain, shouldn't be a big deal. What the asterisk is going on with ordinary people here? Xie Wuxin said. In Wanzhou Mountain, the weakest guy the first have ever seen since I grew up as you. After Xie Wuxin finished speaking, she felt that what she said just now was inappropriate, and quickly added, when I first met you, you were really not that strong. I suspect that ordinary people here may have been raised in captivity. Chen Shang said, the specific purpose. Everyone has a soul. After these people die, the soul will become energy and will be absorbed by Jin Jing. Jin Jing, after absorbing a lot of souls, it will indeed be very different. Can it be like this? Xie Wuxin said in surprise. So, this realm of skylessness is indeed very dangerous. The guy in charge of Infinite City is most likely a guy with high authority in the realm of the sky. Chen Shang said, we have to leave Infinite City as soon as possible. By the way, didn't we walk out of that teleportation building before? There are a lot of teleportation rooms inside. Xie Wuxin said, we return to that place and teleport away from there. There are a lot of teleportation rooms there. Could it be that there are a lot of people who want to teleport to Infinite City? Chen Shang whispered, what will they do if they teleport here? Nothing to find. Brother Shen, we are wanted now. It's better to leave this ghost town as soon as possible. Xie Wuxin said, don't have any extravagance. Do you think we can swagger into the teleportation building, and then easily teleport away? Chen Shang pouted and said, they will definitely guard that building. Xie Wuxin was too afraid to go by Chen Shang. Go. Chen Shang smiled and said, I am here. What are you afraid of? Xie Wuxin could only follow Chen Shang. At dawn, they came to the outside of the teleportation building. They remember that when they walked out of the teleportation room last time, many people walked out of this teleportation building with them. At that time, Chen Shang also probed the cultivation base of those people, and they were all not weak, and they were all powerhouses at the Saint Master level. There are also a large number of holy masters in the domain of no sky. What are they doing in this city? Not long after, the door of the teleportation room opened, and a group of people walked out of it. Chen Shang focused on two of them. Those two people are like middle-aged men, they are together. Old Xie, let's follow these two guys. Chen Shang whispered secretly, let's see what their origins are, and see if we can talk to them. They all look very strong. Xie Wuxin found that the group of people who came out of the teleportation building were very strong. That's it, Chen Shang said. After that, Chen Shang and Xie Wuxin quietly followed the two middle-aged men. Because Chen Shang was following a long distance, they were not found. After following for a long time, the two people entered a mansion with a large courtyard. Old Xie, you are waiting for me outside. Chen Shang said, I will go in and explore by myself, don't run around. This area is full of mansions of this kind, and there is also a lake. Chen Shang asked Xie Wuxin to wait under the tree next to the lake, and then stealthily entered the mansion. As soon as Chen Shang entered, he felt that there were a dozen people in this mansion, and they were all very powerful. He was also very curious. Boundless City was a big city where a large number of mortals gathered, but why would there be groups of powerful people coming? Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4680, Kuntian. When Chen Shang entered the courtyard, he saw the door of a big house open, and inside was a spacious hall. After being invisible, he quietly came to the side of the gate, eavesdropping on the conversations of several people in the hall. The soul field that we are in charge of management, the quality of the soul produced is getting worse and worse. What is going on? A middle-aged said, we were scolded by the boss before. General Manager, mainly the people in our area are getting poorer and poorer. They are too poor to eat good soul food, and their soul quality is getting worse and worse. A young man complained, this kind of soul food. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm just in charge of statistics, not in charge of feeding them. After Chen Shang heard this, he was shocked. The ordinary people in Boundless City were indeed raised in captivity, mainly to get their souls. He roughly guessed before, but now that he is sure, he is still very surprised. How to make these guys eat good soul food? This is a big problem. The man sighed, Manager, you should arrange some people to deal with this problem. Are you not planting soul food? The soul food is planted by yourself. There are a group of people who are responsible for urging them to plant soul food, and who is in charge of managing this matter. Call him over. The general manager was very angry. Manager, that person is not small. The young man whispered, we can't afford to offend. This general manager seems to be a handoff shopkeeper, usually just to take a look, and he doesn't know much about the soul field he is responsible for. Chen Shang wanted to figure out, what are the souls they harvested mainly for? There may be many such boundless cities in the domain of no sky, which are specially used for raising ordinary people in captivity to harvest souls. Chen Shang suddenly thought of the divine sea of the universe. There are a large number of universes there. Each universe has countless creatures and countless souls. Is the destruction of the divine sea of the universe also harvested all the souls at once? Chen Shang is extremely scared of thinking. It is very likely that the souls of multiple universes in the cosmos Shanghai were destroyed because of their poor quality. Xie Wuxin also said before, mainly because the universe did not cultivate people with cosmic fate, which is also one of the reasons for the destruction. The person Chen Shang followed from the teleportation building was a manager, and his strength was not weak, so Chen Shang didn't plan to do anything. On the contrary, it was the young man who reported the situation. His strength was not that strong. This was a good target. The manager was thinking at this time, because he really couldn't afford the person responsible for planting soul food, so he didn't know what to do now. You get out first, the manager said. The young man responded with a yes, then left the hall and came to a dilapidated small building on the west side of the mansion, which was his residence. Chen Shang immediately followed. The young man was tall and thin, with clean-looking eyes. Judging from his expression, he seemed to have suffered a lot of grievance. After he entered the room, Chen Shang immediately followed in, and released the 6 magic mirrors, releasing an enchantment in the small hall in the room. The young man felt something was wrong and reacted quickly, so he immediately took out a long sword. After the invisible Chen Shang appeared, he smiled and said, "Little brother, don't be nervous. What's your name?" "Little brother, you look middle-aged, but you may not be older than me." The young man snorted, still very vigilant. Chen Shang has changed his face. He looks like a middle-aged man. He is wanted by the whole city now, so he must be disguised. "I'm here to help you." Chen Shang sat down, folded his legs and said, "Look at the barrier here, do you think you can break it?" This young man has been paying attention just now, and he also thinks that he can't break this barrier. "Who are you? What are you trying?" the young man asked. "You can call me Big Brother Shen." Chen Shang said, "How about you?" "I'm Zhang Xiaoshui, I'm just a nameless boy, what is it for you to come to me? You can plant this kind of enchantment in an instant, and you must be a character. To you, I have no value at all." Zhang Xiaoshui said bitterly. "I'm here from Wanzhou Mountain." Chen Shang whispered. "I don't know anything about this skyless realm, so I need to ask someone to understand the situation here. Are you one of the 2 people who were wanted before?" Zhang Xiaoshui frowned for a while, then said in shock, "Impossible. According to the description of the wanted order we got internally, you should be very weak." "Do you still have a wanted order inside?" Chen Shang asked. "The wanted order shown by Jin Jing outside is for that group of mortals. The wanted order we got inside, the reward is 500 creation soul pills." Zhang Xiaoshui said, "We little ones, we need to work hard for thousands of years in order to get 500 creation soul pills. Will you cooperate with me now?" Chen Shang smiled and said, "How are you going to catch me to receive the reward?" "Brother Shen, stop joking, how can I get you to get the reward?" Zhang Xiaoshui smiled bitterly, "I may not even have a small life. Don't worry, as long as you cooperate with me, then I will not kill you." Chen Shang patted him on the shoulder and smiled. "Zhang Xiaoshui, who issued the wanted order?" "He escaped from Wanzhou Mountain." "People, are they all wanted?" "The wanted order was issued by a heavenly sage lord. The heavenly sage lord is in charge of the entire infinite city. The passage between Wanzhou Mountain and the Wushan realm also happens to be an infinite city." Zhang Xiaoshui said, "Generally speaking, anyone who escaped from there will be arrested for 500 years of hard work to redeem them. You fled to Infinity City, but you didn't obey the arrangements and escaped privately. That's why you were wanted." "So that's it." Chen Shang thought it was a wanted order issued by Wanzhou Mountain. "However, the reward for the wanted order is too rich. It shows that your value is extremely high." Zhang Xiaoshui said, "In short, the wanted order issued this time is different from the previous ones." Chen Shang originally thought that the wanted order had nothing to do with Wanzhoushan. When Zhang Xiaoshui said that, he began to doubt again. "Zhang Xiaoshui, I have a bold plan and need your help." Chen Shang rolled his eyes and smiled. Looking at Chen Zhang's smile, Zhang Xiaoshui's heart suddenly stopped, and he always felt that a catastrophe was imminent. "Big Brother Shen, I'm just a low-strength young man, I can't help much." Zhang Xiaoshui waved his hand quickly. "You still ask Gaoming. I really can't help, I'm just a waste. I said you can do it, then you must do it." Chen Shang patted his shoulder and laughed. "It can be seen that you are a very honest person. I can trust you. Now is an important turning point in your life, you seize the opportunity.